can hear music, that would be great.
Well, a good Thursday afternoon, everybody. A day of high school wrestling continues. The first round of the state individual tournament is complete, as we reported on this morning. Now it's time for the first round of the state dual tournament. Second year they're bringing it back as we feature the Pierre Governors here on your official voice of Governor Sports, KGFX 1060 AM, 107.1 FM, and the stations of DRG Media Group as the Pierre Governors will host. Nope, let's take that back. The Pierre Governors will take on the Mitchell Colonels in the first round of the state dual tournament. But in addition to Pierre, we'll see the Chamberlain Cubs taking on Rapid City Stevens, and also in the Class B, Matt Winter and Lyman battling each other in the quarterfinal round of the state dual tournament. Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes, another team from central South Dakota that will be competing as well. We'll keep you up to date as much as we can on some of those area teams, but we will be focusing primarily on the Pierre Governors. These matches are also visible through sdpb.org if you would like to see other matches other than what we've got coming for you. Pierre and Mitchell, they dueled each other 6 days ago. Let's make that 13 days ago in Mitchell. The Colonels on the last day of the regular season defeated the Governors 32-22, but the Pierre Governors did beat Mitchell in the Region 3A tournament last weekend in Chamberlain, and again, I think looking forward to good things coming up as they get things, try to turn the tide as to what happened in that first round, or in that last duel of the regular season a couple of weeks ago. Should be a fun one. Our coverage of Governor Wrestling has been sponsored by Pierre Sports postseason sponsors, and we'll hear from our special in-game sponsors as well. Take an opening 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back to continue our Becky Potts of a State Farm pregame show, and we'll set you up with starting lineups for the Governors and for the Colonels, and talk about what has happened so far today for Pierre in particular in that first round of the state individual tournament as well. As state dual tournament commences, starting with a 2-minute timeout in the Becky Potts of a State Farm pregame show. This is Pierre Governor State Tournament Wrestling on 1060 KGFX, 107.1 FM, and drgnews.com.
State Farm to get started, or call Possible State Farm Agent's office and they'll be happy to sign you up. Call 224-4173, Possible State Farm Insurance, and learn more today.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino, from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archived video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino. Download it now at the App Store or Google Play.
With more and more people being at home, chances are you'll access a social media site to stay in touch with family and friends. Before you do this, please check your privacy settings to ensure you're being the safest you can be. For step-by-step instructions on how to check and change your privacy settings for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and the like, go to consumer.sd.gov. With questions, contact South Dakota Consumer Protection Division, 1-800-300-1986, or email consumerhealth@state.sd.us.
Hometown spirit. Nothing else comes near. Owyhee Federal Credit Union. Proud to be your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Back in the ice arena, the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center in Rapid City, Brian Oakland to give you coverage of Pierre Governor duels from the state dual wrestling tournament. Paisley Dunn is back in studio. We're joined outside as well by a couple of Governor coaching members. Former head coach Ryan Noyes is with us, and middle school head coach John Wayne Calda also along, as both guys have helped us throughout the season with dual coverage as well. We'll do starting lineups momentarily, but first let's talk to the guys about how things went in the first round of the individual tournament. Guys, the Governors go 9-5. Got off to kind of a slow start with losses in the first three weight class. Picked it up in the middle, and I guess not all bad. Fourth place setting for the Governors where we are right now. Maybe where Pierre would expect to be. But how do you guys see that first round?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything different than what you said right now. You know, the good thing about the tournament is it's a double elimination tournament, and those guys that obviously took some losses, which are heartbreakers in the first round, I mean, there's opportunities to come back and score some points, if not get themselves back into that placing round.
Yeah, I agree. So much of the state tournament is about momentum, and so, you know, if you can get past a couple of those early losses and get the ball rolling again in your favor, you know, then hopefully we can keep it going.
You know, if you lose in the first round, and maybe for a couple of guys who maybe weren't expecting to lose in the first round, at least you got probably a favorable matchup in that first round of the Wrestlebacks. But then you probably have, if you win that next one, then you've got somebody who won their first round match but lost their second one coming back to you. So it doesn't matter how you get there, you got to win a couple of matches in a row if you're going to get into the placing rounds. And for the guys who got the 9 kids who won their first round matches, now like you said, Coach, it's just a matter of momentum. You got to keep it going tomorrow morning.
Right. Yeah. Again, it's a simple get ready for your next match and don't overlook anyone. You know, you got to be focused. You got to be ready to go. And there are no gimmies when you get to the state tournament.
And it's kind of a different way to get back and get in the mindset of getting going now as we bring the first round of the dual tournaments up here. But I guess it just doesn't matter. You got to flip the switch when you're stepping on the mat, no matter what's going on, right?
Yeah, and it's a different atmosphere. You know, when you look at obviously the dual tournament, and you know, it's not having to come back, you know, 2 hours later and wrestle another individual match where, you know, obviously it's a bigger picture here. We've got, you know, a little bit different kind of, you know, win on the line, but yet they've got a good 20 hours, 24 hours to really kind of think about that next match versus just having to rebound quickly and you know, maybe kind of being down and out.
First round of the dual tournament coming up. Starting lineups, we'll do that momentarily, but a quick note on behalf of the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. They remind us all on your way to and from high school sporting events or wherever you're driving, buckle up every trip, every time. A reminder from the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. Here are the starting lineups that we have and what we are again, things can happen a little bit differently in duels, so this will be unofficial starting lineups. We did not get a chance to talk with head coach Sean Lewis before this match or this duel, but this is what we do expect. We have found out they're going to start at the 132-pound weight class, and that'll mean Kaylor Heinman, the senior for the Governors, will go first. He's 27-8 on the season. He would take on Brock Sparks of Mitchell, a junior, at 27-3. 138 is Hayden Schaefer, 27-4. The junior for Pierre. Riley McGinnis is their 138-pounder. He did not qualify for the individual tournament, but he'll be 8-18 in a favorable matchup there for the Governors. At 145 pounds, Tyson Johnson, the senior, at 29-3, goes against Connor Thielen at 6-11. He is a junior for Mitchell. Then at 152, Deegan Huska, 22-13, a sophomore, against Tucker Vilhauer, the junior, and a good one for the Colonels at 21-8. At 160, it's Jaden Weeby, a sophomore, at 13-14, against senior Tyson Dagan of Mitchell, 20-4. At 170, it's Lucas Chamberlain, the freshman, 18-17 for Pierre, against Tate Elwine, the senior, who is 18-12. And then 182, Gavin Stotts, the sophomore, is 24-12, make it 25-11 on the season. He takes on Joe Van Overshield, the junior, at 25-4. At 195, Jacob Larson, 23-10, the senior for Pierre, against senior Blake Fredericks, 17-10 for Mitchell. 220, Reagan Bolway. Got a couple of big matches here in the big weights. 220, Reagan Bolway, 23-0. The senior against senior Wyatt Winter at 26-4. And then Preston Taylor, a senior for Pierre, at 27-5, taking on the junior Bo Foot, for Mitchell, who is 13-1 on the season. Only loss in the year, though, was to Preston Taylor, but he has gotten him twice now since. Spencer Aldine for Mitchell wrestles at 106, and so far we'll expect Lincoln Schoenhardt to wrestle. The 7th grader kind of got evaluated for concussion symptoms in his opening match at 106 this morning. If it's not Schoenhardt, I guess we'll adapt and overcome. Perhaps we might see Matthew Hostler for the Governors at 106. At 113, Noah Williams, the junior, 24-9 on the season, to take on Caleb Hubbard, a sophomore, at 16-10, who did not qualify for the state individual tournament. At 120, Nate Williams, the junior, at 21-13, against Brandon Sparks, who had one of the biggest wins of the first round of the individual tournament. The junior for Mitchell is 17-6. And at 126, it'll finish with Blake Judson, the junior for the Governors, 26-4, against Jagger Tyler, 25-1, and a sophomore. Some big matches coming up, starting at 132, though. Again, it'll be Kaylor Heinman of Pierre against Brock Sparks for Mitchell. And again, with Chamberlain taking on Rapid City Stevens, they're far down the way. We'll try to keep you updated with scoring updates on that, and through for the other area teams will be competing in the State B dual tournament. When we get an opportunity, we'll look at the brackets, but our opening tip, or the opening start of Governor Sports on KGFX, is brought to you by Lynn's Dakota Mart in Pierre. Let's hear from them very quickly, and we're back to wrestle the state dual tournament on KGFX.
Welcome to Lynn's Dakota Mart. Check out their selection in the meat, produce, deli department, and hardware, as well as the rest of the store. The freshest and best quality in the area. Don't see what you need?
Just ask. The friendly staff is more than happy to help in any way possible. For any gathering, large or small, Lynn's Dakota Mart is there for you. Special orders and requests, too. Smart grocery shopping takes a little TLC. Lynn's Dakota Mart. Thrifty, local, and convenient.
And we're back in Rapid City. First match is underway. Both wrestlers about 30 seconds in, and we are neutral with Kaylor Heinman and Brock Sparks. Brian Oakland again with John Wayne Calda. Ryan Noyes here as Pierre battles Mitchell. We also have number 8 seed T Area taking on Brandon Valley. Governors are on the far mat to our right in our vantage point, which is actually the closest one to us. So that's a pretty good look at what we're looking at here. Kaylor Heinman in position. He's got to get his leg free to try to get this opening takedown against Sparks, as they're near the edge of the mat. And they're actually going to come back face-to-face a little more. Also, number 6, Harrisburg, battles number 3 Watertown, and we mentioned the Chamberlain Cubs. They're the 7 seed in the dual tournament as they take on number 2 Rapid City Stevens. A reset here in the middle. 40 seconds to wrestle first period. Good matchup here, guys, because Brock Sparks of Mitchell defeated Kaylor Heineman in the duel a couple of weeks ago, but Heineman beat him 8-0 in the region championship a week ago. Now Sparks has a takedown, but a quick release and a 2-1 lead for Brock Sparks here. But is this the rubber match, so to speak, here?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that earlier. Not even this one. There's about 4 or 5 other probably good matches that, could go either way today. And you kind of look back at, they wrestled each other 4 times here in the past 2 to 3 weeks. And, which guys are making adjustments, which guys are, again, getting themselves ready to go. And I mean, again, we're just looking at some really good matchups right off the bat.
First match comes to an end and a 2-1 lead for Brock Sparks as really even now these two, it almost seemed like they're still trying to feel each other out, even though they know each other as well as they do.
Yeah, and then, for me, Kaylor's got to remember how he scored, an 8-point advantage last time they wrestled, and he's got to do more of the same. He looks way more cautious right now than what he did the last time they wrestled. He definitely opened up, and I think when he does that, things look pretty good for him.
Second period started. Heineman got up, but Sparks wrestled him right back to the mat. Now Heineman free again, and a 1-point escape. And we've got a 2-2 tie. Minute and a half to go in period number 1, starting at 132 pounds. By the way, mat officials, and we've got several of them, we'll make sure to thank for doing a thankless job. Our mat officials are brought to you by the South Dakota High School, I should say the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and their Division of Consumer Protection. They're the law on the mat, and there's just too many of them to name. But as we watch 132, Bryce Ryer of Chamberlain would be in action right now, and he's trailing 2-0, so a good match going for the Chamberlain Cubs there. And again, Lyman and Winter against each other in the Class B. And again, we'll take a look at the bracket when we get an opportunity. Still neutral, though, Sparks and Heineman, 2-2, 45 seconds to wrestle. We're in the second period. First duel of the dual tournament. And again, if Pierre, the winner of this opening duel, moves on to the semifinals and would take on the winner of Brandon Valley and T Area. Pierre 5, Mitchell the 4 seed, Brandon Valley the number 1, T Area the number 8. And T Area, one of those teams that's really coming on. Here's Sparks taking a shot. Heineman trying to fight that off, keep his center of gravity and stay upright. So far, so good, but again, another shot taken here, guys, by the Mitchell wrestler.
Yeah, he is definitely the aggressor in this match. Kaylor kind of survived a deep shot there, and now going into the third period, it's tied up with Brock's choosing down.
Heineman will wrap the right arm around, and he'll try to keep Sparks down on the mat. Now, last Saturday in Chamberlain, Kaylor Heineman got an 8-0 win in the Region 3A Championship, so obviously was able to ride Sparks out quite a bit. But as Sparks falls back, and boy, Kaylor had an opportunity. Actually, shoulders were turned a bit, but no seconds counted. And as Sparks goes belly down, we still have a 2-2 tie. Bryce Ryer of Chamberlain starting his third period, trailing 4-0 to Rapid City Stevens' opponent. The bracket, by the way, in Class B, we mentioned Winter and Lyman. Winter is the top seed, Lyman number 8. Then it's McCook Central Montrose against Redfield area in the 4-5. The 2 seed is Canton. They battle Howard, and then also a couple of Central South Dakota teams as Heineman gets Sparks rolled over. And now seconds are being ticked away. Kaylor Heineman with a minute gone and a minute to go in the third period will take his first lead of the match with 3 back points pending. The question is, as he's got him cradled up, can he get him stuck here? This will be a big start for Kaylor Heineman and the Governors if that's the way this turns out. Sparks will get out of it, though. So 5-2, Heineman leads, now 5-3 with the 1-point escape to Brock Sparks. 35 seconds to go. That last match to talk about, Kimball White Lake Platte Getty's the 3 seed in Class B against Wessington Springs, Woonsocket, Woolsey, Wessington. That should be a pretty good battle as well. A little bit of life here for Kaylor Hindman, guys. 25 seconds to go.
Yeah, he did a very nice job on top of just, staying patient, waiting to see what opens up, and then capitalizing.
And now they're back on their feet, 15 seconds to go. Sparks going to have to make some quick work here. He tried to get him down and roll him over, but Hindman stays all right. Now 5 seconds to go. The Governors are going to get a 5-3 victory with Kaylor Hindman starting things off, and they'll take a 3-0 lead in the duel. We'll go to 138 quickly after a 30-second break. This is the state duel tournament with the Pierre Governors on KGFX. Getting up, here we go to 138 pounds. Hayden Schaefer, who is back off of injury and wrestling very well last weekend of the region tournament. Got a first-round victory here today in the individual tournament. He takes on Riley McGinnis of Mitchell. And Schaefer, an early takedown as he tries to get McGinnis rolled over. McGinnis, as we mentioned, did not qualify for the individual tournament. One of two Colonels who did not. They placed 12 in the Region 3A. Pierre, of course, placed all 14 as Schaefer in good shape here. He's got him cradled up with a minute to go, first period. And seconds getting ticked away once again. Hayden Schaefer did not wrestle against Mitchell 2 weeks ago. Trying to lock legs up here to keep McGinnis from kicking and screaming, but it's a pin at 1 minute and 17 seconds for Hayden Schaefer, and the Governors will tack on 6. They'll take a 9-0 lead after 2 matches, and we continue right on up to 145.
Looks like Trey Lewis is checking in.
Hayden Schaefer going right to work, guys. He looks fresh and new off of that injury, huh?
Yeah, Hayden Schaefer just doing what Hayden Schaefer does and getting good takedowns. A lot more aggressive on his feet this year. I like seeing a lot of that. And then obviously his length is benefiting him in the cradle position. So, yep, just him being him.
So Trey Lewis at 145 in place of Tyson Johnson. Maybe we see Tyson Johnson moving up, but Trey Lewis off to a good start here. His opponent is Connor Thielen. They have Johnson listed on the scoreboard, but as Ryan Noyes said, this is Trey Lewis. And we probably expected a little bit of the jockeying of positions, and maybe we'll see Tyson Johnson moving up and wrestling against standout Tucker Villauer of Mitchell. As Trey Lewis tries to work this chicken wing and get Thielen over. Thielen trying to stay stiff and keep that from happening, but Lewis out to a 2-0 lead 1 minute in. Again, Chamberlain wrestling Rapid City Stevens. Their 138-pound match is finishing the first period, but a 4-0 deficit for Chamberlain. We can see they tell us who's wrestling in the Pierre match, but on the big scoreboard, but they don't tell us on any of the other ones. Thomas Powell is the 138-pounder, presumably for Chamberlain. As Trey Lewis working something out. I've got a scoreboard in my way, hard to tell what's going on. But Ryan Noyes is doing some body English up here in the booth to try to get Trey Lewis a little bit of assistance. Now a potentially dangerous situation, and 3 back points are going to be awarded. They will reset, but Trey Lewis, guys, is I know he's waiting his turn, but this guy's going to be ready to really get some good things going in the next few years.
Well, let's not forget what he did last year. I mean, state qualifier, one match away from placing, I believe, and even this year, just wrestling unattached and getting some tournaments. I mean, he's had a pretty phenomenal year, even though he's not cracked that lineup yet. So, this isn't just a kid that they're throwing in and hoping to see what he can do. I think they're expecting big things out of him.
Lewis with a 5-0 lead as the first period comes to an end. Trying to find a way that we can see live scoring updates as far as the team scores go in all of these duels, in fact, but haven't been able to find that yet. Lewis starts down in the second period, quickly out, 5 seconds in, and he's got a 6-0 lead. Governors have the first two matches at 138 and 132 also, and a 9-0 lead.
6-0, or you mean dual score 9-0?
Dual score 9-0, yep. So far after two matches, Lewis continues to go right after Connor Thielen. Thielen just 6-11. He was a fourth place finisher in the region at 145 a week ago in Chamberlain, but obviously not the experience that a lot of his teammates have, or in this case, perhaps not even that Trey Lewis has.
The one thing about Trey that makes him so tough is he doesn't stop. He's not one of those kids that if he gets behind, he's going to get rattled and he's going to quit. He's going to keep fighting and constantly looking for a pin. So I'm pretty impressed. For somebody that's so young, he does a very nice job of understanding the sport and just staying tough mentally and physically.
Yeah, still a freshman here, but he's got another takedown. We're a minute into the second period, and now an 8-0 lead for Trey Lewis over Connor Thielen. As he'll work to the upper left from our vantage point as we look down on the circle. Nice place for a wrestling tournament here. This pretty good view up here in the ice arena. It's too bad we can't see the Class B mats at the same time, but it still is kind of neat to go back to the 4-mat setup at the same time.
Yeah, it's nice venues. I think it's small. It's a little bit intimate, and you're going to start to get a crowd, I think, filtering in tomorrow and probably even obviously more tomorrow night. I think this place is going to be rocking.
And the fans who get to sit low to the rink, if you will, or to the mat, they've got a right on top of you view and real up close. So Lewis resetting again, 30 seconds to go, second period. Now he'll let Thielen loose to an 8-1 lead. Trey Lewis wrestles him around. Thielen down to the knees. Lewis follows on top, but still a front-on battle.
Trey's got him in a front headlock, and he's looking to go around. He hooked the leg. That should be 2.
Got 2. Time runs out, though. So another takedown, but a good-looking second period as well for Trey Lewis. Now a 10-1 lead on Connor Thielen. Governor's trying to go for 3 in a row to start this duel. Mitchell's going to get serious and good at 150, 160, 170 and above. So
that's what makes, I think, this dual format so much, more exciting. If you understand the sport of wrestling, is that, you start looking, obviously Trey's winning right now, but it's now the little games in between each match. It's like, hey, can we win by major? Right now we've got that major. It's, what can I do to, possibly get that tech fall or get that fall? And even on the opposite end, you've got guys that maybe are getting beat or getting pinned by kids early on in the season. Now it's like, what can you do to hopefully kind of, reduce that score and not give them those full-on 5 or 6 points that they'd normally be getting.
Trey Lewis did let Thielen up early third period, but he took him right back down again. He's leading 12-2, and I'm realizing that we actually can see the dual scores at the bottom of these mat scoreboards, so that's good. We see the Governors up 9-0. Chamberlain after one match is trailing 4-0. So Bryce Ryer losing by major decision in their first match. 1 minute to go. Trey Lewis very much in control and a major decision margin right now, 12-2. And they've got them, we're seeing them now being updated as well on track wrestling. So all good things here in Rapid City. Trey Lewis continuing to look strong.
Doing a nice job of just providing pressure on top. He's He's not getting him turned right now, but he's also not giving him any chance of getting away on bottom.
Trey Lewis is a freshman that just to me, guys, looks like he's really starting to fill that singlet out a little bit more and more all season long. You can just tell he's getting bigger, stronger, going to be fun to watch here in years to come.
He's definitely been around some big things here in the last year and a half. You're playing on the football team as a freshman and have an opportunity to compete with some older, more mature guys. I mean, it's not even about him filling out a singlet, but just his maturity in general has just been. Just the maturity in general, it's just been growing and growing and growing as this year has gone on.
Trey Lewis will finish a 12-2 major decision as the Governors will lead the duel 13-0. See if we can get a 30-second break in here. You're listening to the state duel tournament and the Pierre Governors on KGFX. Back in Rapid City as we continue here. Governors with 3 in a row and a 13-0 lead in the duel, taking on the Mitchell Colonels. Tyson Johnson moving up to 152 pounds for the Governors. And Tyson Dagan apparently has dropped down from 160 pounds to wrestle at 152. Still Dagan a good wrestler. Finished top 2 in the region at 160 a week ago. Tyson Johnson moving up here, also a second place finisher in the region, but the second seed in the individual bracket. Both of these guys had first round victories. So for the Governors, we probably expect Deegan Huska to move up to 160 pounds. And again, the jockeying here that you see from time to time in duels, even during the regular season, you see that quite a bit.
Be kind of fun if they'd actually provide us.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, we just believe this is Tyson Dagan as showing up on the big board.
Kind of be nice if they provide us with a weigh-in sheet up here too, so we could kind of see maybe some of these moves and advancement as far as what's going on, because you got a guy that's wrestling 160 right now. It'd be kind of interesting to see what he weighed in today, and obviously he weighed under the 152 weight classification, but just kind of impressive just what he's doing right now and being able to do what he does at 160 as well.
40 seconds to go, first period, nothing happening yet. Dagan, who wrestles up at 160, coming back to 152. Tyson Johnson, normally a 145, wrestling up, and as he gets the spin around, he finally gets his first takedown, does Johnson, so he takes a 2-0 lead. 15 seconds to go now. Thomas Powell of Chamberlain, by the way, lost by major decision to his Rapid City Stevens opponent, Corderdoni. So Stevens has an 8-0 lead over the Cubs after 2 matches. The Governors lead Mitchell 13-0 after 3. And we can see also in the Class B matches that winner is really off and running on the Lyman Raiders, 41-0, as they have a dual lead there. Wessington Springs, Woonsocket, Woolsey Wessington on top of Kimball Whitelake, 16-4. 21-18, Redfield leading McCook Central. Montrose, Canton leads Howard 21-15 early on in that one. Meanwhile, Brandon Valley is on top of T-Area 12-4 in the 1-8 match as we're underway in the second period at this 152-pound battle. Got a 6-6 tie on mat number 3 between Harrisburg and Watertown, and as mentioned, 8-0 Rapid City Stevens leads Chamberlain in the 2-7 battle. So interesting here is Tyson Johnson wrestles up a weight class, trying to ride out, get some ride time with a little bit bigger wrestler in Tyson Dagan, so far so good. 40 seconds in, they will wrestle each other right on out of bounds and come back and reset again. Dagan, just a solid wrestler. I don't remember him in the state tournament a year ago, but a lot of guys from Mitchell really came into their own this year, and obviously beating the Governors in the duel a couple of weeks ago. They've had some good showings. I think for a duel, they're in pretty good shape. For a tournament setting on an individual bracket basis, not quite as deep as they really hope to be in another year or two, though.
Yeah, they match it up pretty well. I mean, that's again kind of how duels work. That you could have a really good tournament team, but you go against a team that maybe doesn't have a good tournament team, but yet they just match up with you so well that they make things pretty interesting when it comes to this kind of a format.
Tyson Johnson warned for stalling here, so stalemate called, and they'll get going again with 49 seconds to go. Second period, Johnson on top, 2-0.
And I'm not saying I like the stall call there, but I don't mind what Johnson's doing right now. The one thing you're noticing about Dagan is that, he's not really looking to stand up all that much. Everything he's doing is kind of hip rolls and almost kind of breaking himself down to his hip, and I think Johnson's eventually going to be able to capitalize on that. Almost kind of waiting for him to make a mistake and slip up just a little bit, but yet keeping good pressure on him and making sure he doesn't get a stand-up on him.
Dagan did get stood up, but as Johnson wrestled him back down, now Tyson trying to keep him at bay. Dagan almost got out, but Tyson Johnson so far still under control. But before, it was a false start caution on Dagan, so despite the fact that he got stood up, that really never happened. Now he's on his feet, and Tyson Johnson will let him free. 15 seconds to go. Period number 2. See if Johnson can get something done in short time here. Gabe Skustad, by the way, wrestling for Chamberlain right now, in good shape. 10-4, he has a lead with a minute and a half to go in period 3 as Chamberlain looks to get on the board in their third battle of the night. Tyson Johnson of Pierre leading Tyson Dagan of Mitchell. And at the end, 2 officials conferring, and they're holding up a stall.
Shoelaces.
On Mitchell. Oh, we got a wardrobe malfunction, huh? Tyson Johnson is going to take to the down position here. Something you don't see very often.
No, and especially with the shoes these days, it's kind of funny to even see it happen. I mean, you've got the straps that go across, and it just seems like there's just ways to really prevent that from occurring, but it does still happen.
Tyson Johnson was, I think, going to be warned for a false start, but a whistle blew off to their left, and I think the mat officials for Pierre and Mitchell realized that was an honest mistake. I don't know if he got that caution or not. We're just underway, third period. Johnson underneath Dagan. Dagan riding him up high. Tyson Johnson trying to squirm his way out.
Dagan's got both legs in from top, and it's amazing how heavy these guys are, especially when you're wrestling up a weight class. You're carrying a little extra weight, but there's just so much more pressure. And so we don't have a whole lot of time to stick around down on the mat with our head on the mat. We got to get up to our feet and get away.
And you say that even with a 2-1 lead. Obviously, I think you like Tyson's chances of not getting rolled over, but you'd certainly like to ensure that doesn't happen by getting stood up and escaping out.
He's kind of in a dangerous situation right now as Dagan's got a side headlock on. If he rolls through, we're in trouble. But if Tyson can pull his right arm out here and get around his waist, then we're in good shape.
Tries to grab him up at the head with that loose left arm, but nothing happening yet. Now down to 45 seconds to go as Gabe Skustad has wrapped up a victory for Chamberlain. Major decision. He defeats his Rapid City Stevens opponent. Chamberlain is on the board in that battle, trailing 8-4. Now Tyson Johnson working his way out, and I think he's got the escape. Doesn't need it. How about a 2-point reversal with 25 seconds to go in the third period? 4-1. Johnson leads Dagan now at 152. Brandon Valley rolling it up on T. They just got an Isaac Klinkhammer pin, and now 170. Lucas Slack is in business early in the first period. Johnson will let Dagan up. 3, 2, 1. Good enough. And Tyson Johnson will defeat Tyson Dagan A good, hard-fought decision win for the Governors, who now lead 16-0 on the Wagner Auto scoreboard. Wagner Auto, the one place to go for BS coming this weekend. We'll move up to 160 pounds.
Villauer.
Tucker Villauer is coming up for Mitchell. And he will take on, is it Deegan Huska?
Yep.
Moving up from 152 to 160. So again, Tyson Johnson gets the win. Governors have won the first 4, but now Mitchell really, now Tucker Villauer, very good wrestler at 152, but, or Tyson Dagan rather, but this is Tucker Villauer now. And again, Mitchell very good in the middle to the upper weight classes, and the Governors really going to have to step up their game if they want to protect the lead that they've got. And Deegan Huska going to be the underdog in this one, but still capable of doing some good things as long as he doesn't get caught. Huska got a first-round victory in the individual tournament. Placed second at 152 a week ago. In the Region 3A. Down to the bottom of the mat, and our vantage point now down to the knees. Both wrestlers, but out of bounds. They'll go and reset with 1:11 to go in the first.
A little difference from Deegan's first match. What we're seeing right now is that, you know, he was really in control of that first match and getting to his ties and getting to his shots and really kind of just, I mean, in general, in control of the match itself. And we're seeing now he's finding it a little bit tougher to get to his inside ties and getting what he wants to get to.
First minute's gone by, still neutral, and so far, I kind of feel as long as Deegan Huska stays on his feet, you gotta like your chances. I mean, seems to be one of those situations where if you're Huska, you just want to give yourself a chance in the end, and boy, you got Villauer rolled. Pierre wanted 2.
Well,
our coaches up here wanted 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to get that takedown though. They'll stay on their feet.
They rode through. He was on his hip. He was on his side.
That's that side headlock Coach Noyes was talking about here earlier. I don't necessarily agree with that call.
All right, Coach Sean Lewis is going to ask for clarification here. So we've got 2 coaches on the mat, 2 coaches in the booth, all thinking the same thing.
That's one of those situations that he has it locked up. As soon as he hits the mat, it's good. There's nothing about rolling out of bounds, nothing about it, and they definitely hit in the mat itself or in the circle.
Well, the Governors won't get this argument. They'll stay neutral. Reset through 35 seconds. Counting down still first period. Deegan Huska.
If he can get out of the 0-0, that to me is a win.
Tries a throw here as they locked up again, but again out of bounds to the left. And that's actually the point I was going to start to make is Huska, again, just considering him a bit of an underdog in this match, but the idea would be just go as long as you can and give yourself a chance to win in the end.
Right.
Here's Villauer wrapping up as Huska comes down back on top of him, but again out of bounds. And boy, if Deegan keeps his toes in, maybe he's got a 2-pointer there. 7 seconds to go. Huska comes right at him off of the reset, but they'll stay neutral here all the way through the first period. So
I've been had a chance to watch Deegan wrestle a lot this year just with how things have been going on, but you do kind of take it back to a couple years ago. It's like he's a kid that liked going upper body. He liked getting into those double overs and kind of seeing, obviously puts him in bad situations at time, but I don't know if we want to, or not we, but I don't know if Mitchell here wants to continue kind of get into that as well.
Huska in the down to start. He got up, but Villauer keeps him wrapped up, gets him back to the mat. Now Huska up again, but potentially dangerous as and the whistle is blown. So they'll reset again. Deegan Huska just seems to have some real good energy and fire going in this match. And again, as Tyson Johnson wrestled up, Trey Lewis wrestled at 145. Deegan Huska's wrestling up and looking good. Here he's got an escape as he draws first blood, 1-0.
Deegan's one of those kids that's put the time in. He went to Disney Duels a couple summers ago, and those are big-time trips for these kids. And anytime you can take advantage of that, that's something that I think everybody should experience at some point in their careers.
You talk so much about momentum in these duels as well. Let's not forget where we started at today as well. You kind of put us into situations. Toes are in.
Doesn't have the takedown yet. Huska went for a throw on the left side, and they're ruled out of bounds.
You know, you start there at that 32-38. You get some wins, and you get some guys with some confidence, and it's amazing how that can just feed on every wrestler, you know, basically coming up from that.
Officials confer, and they'll stay 2-point takedown for Deegan Huska. So Huska looking good in a 3-0 lead on Tucker Villauer. Brandon Valley, by the way, winner of our duel gets Brandon Valley, and the Lynx are up on top of T-Area 42-4. Really no surprise there, but T-Area a little better at the lower weight classes, and right now they're working their way up through the big ones. They'll come back around. We're going to end at 126.
This is a situation where Deegan, he's going to get some back points out of this maybe. This is
got Villauer rolled over. Sean Lewis was trying to give some little body English help as well, and now they'll give a 1-point escape to Villauer as he runs his way out of bounds.
And I was just going to say that's all right. 1, not 2 in these situations. We can afford to give them 1, but we don't want to give them 2.
30 seconds to go. Second period. Huska 3. Villauer of the Mitchell Colonels with 1. Rapid City Stevens won a 152-pound match. They're leading Chamberlain now 14-4. Apparently that one by pinfall, as Trey Nealon would be the 152-pounder who comes up short in that one. As the final seconds tick away at the second period. Deegan Huska will take a 3-1 advantage to the third, but he'll have to come in over the top now, as Tucker Villauer will take his turn in the down. And there again, Coach Noyes, maybe 1, not 2 if Villauer gets out. But, boy, he cuts a good spin around, and Huska kept it for the time being, but now Deegan in a little bit of precarious situation. There's a reversal here, and it is the 2 instead of the 1 for Tucker Villauer. We've got a 3-3 tie, 20 seconds into period number 3.
Mitchell does such a fantastic job with that Peterson roll or Mitchell roll that they come from it so many different ways, and they end up falling into things and can end up getting back points out of it too if you're not careful.
Looking at some of the Class B results, I believe Winter and Lyman, who is the 8th seed, are already complete. Lyman probably had a few open weight classes, but pretty good job by Chad Johnson and company as Huska gets out and takes a 4-3 lead. But Chad Johnson and the Lyman Raiders having a fine year, starting to fill that lineup a little bit more, but certainly didn't have enough depth to tangle with the Winter Warriors as Winter wins that first round duel in the Class B gym. Winter will now get either the 4 and the 5, that's McCook Central Montrose in Redfield area. The Pheasants of Redfield leading the Fighting Cougars of McCook Central Montrose 27-22. 35 seconds as Huska checks the time at a 4-3 lead. Upper left on the mat, Villauer trying to get him down, but runs out of real estate. Out of bounds with 30 seconds to go.
Keep your butt in the center and good thumb pressure, get inside ties, stopping any shot that you can here.
Villauer takes one, Huska fought it off, but now Deegan's left leg is up in the air in the hands of Tucker Villauer.
Did a great job.
Tried to lift him. Yeah, kept his center of gravity there. Good balance for Huska. 10 seconds to go, trying to preserve a 1-point lead. Huska. 3 seconds. 2 and 1, and Deegan Huska has knocked off Tucker Villauer, and a big win for the Governors. It'll add to their lead, 19-0. The Governors lead the Colonels. Let's break for 30 seconds. We head up to 170 pounds next. This is Pierre Governor Postseason Wrestling.
This Governor Sports Moment is being brought to you by the independent insurance team at Fisher Rounds and Associates of Pierre. Zach Hansen and Lane Severin were members of 4 Pierre Governor basketball teams, and they played in more varsity games than any other Governor player in history. They capped off their careers by leading Pierre to its 4th state basketball championship in 2013 and left Pierre as the leading and second leading scorers and rebounders in school history. Zach Hansen and Lane Severin, 2 of Pierre's finest. This Governor Sports Moment has been brought to you by Fisher Rounds and Associates of Pierre.
A big win for the Governors there as Deegan Huska defeats Tucker Vilhauer of Mitchell, and Pierre has won the first 5 bouts of this quarterfinal duel of the state dual tournament. Now Jaden Wiebe continues the moving up of the Governor wrestlers, wrestling at 170 pounds, taking on Tate Elwine of the Mitchell Colonels, but Elwine will strike first 30 seconds in with a takedown. And he thinks he's got that cradle locked up. Looks like he does, but Wiebe trying to hang on. He grabs the leg and somehow gets a reversal out of it. Guys, I certainly haven't seen as much wrestling as you are, but that looked like a pretty smart move on the part of Jaden Wiebe to somehow stay out of getting thrown to your back in a cradle and turning it into your own advantage.
Yeah, anytime that you can get that inside arm out, so be it, in either one post out or get to a leg in that situation, you got a lot better leverage, and you can definitely turn that into your favor pretty quickly.
Yeah, he slow played that. He waited for him to step up, saw his leg there, and said, I think I'll take that.
Well, and it took Elwine a little while to maybe try to get his momentum rocking back so he could get that cradle working to his advantage. So again, good smart move. Now up on his feet is Elwine, and Wiebe will let him free, so Tate Elwine retakes the lead at 3-2.
Jaden just needs to get things going on his feet. You know, he's more than capable. He just has to get some motion going, get some life into his body, and get moving.
Jaden lost his first round match this morning, but I really thought he wrestled extremely well in Chamberlain in that Region 3A a week ago at 160 pounds. Here he is up to 170.
Yep. He did have a great region tournament, and this is one of those situations where second period I'm looking for big things from Jaden.
Well, he defers with the choice, and Tate Elwine will go to the down position. It is Elwine on top, 3-2. Looking over on the Chamberlain and Rapid City Stevens duel, the Raiders have opened up a 26-4 lead on the Cubs now, and it is Watertown, I believe, leading Harrisburg 16-9. Yeah, Watertown would be the home team there. Second period started as Elwine gets free, so a 1-point escape. We update the score now 4-2. Tate Elwine leading Jaden Wiebe.
You can certainly see the size difference between these two.
That's what I was going to come back to his shots. I love seeing how aggressive he is right now, but every shot that he's taken, it's double, and Elwine's able to get his hips on top of him and slow him down, and that's where he's got to get to exactly. You get to something outside where he can't get his hips down on you, I think he's going to be better off with that.
Wiebe taking a quick shot, but moving out of bounds, and nothing happening here. Still neutral after an escape for Elwine to start the period. 70 seconds to go. We're in the second. It's 4-2. Again, Governor's off to a good start, but we've got a lot of wrestling to go. Looking for a shot to the left leg. Now grabbing two.
Keep driving.
And Wiebe gets a 2-point takedown to tie this one up with 55 seconds to go in the second period, 4-4. Again, if the Governors win this duel over the Colonels, we will have another duel right after this, and Pierre would take on, we'll assume it to be, Brandon Valley. Brandon Valley is well out in front of T area in the 1-8 match. Brandon Valley beat Pierre twice this year, 33-25, out here in Rapid City, early season at the Invite, and also January 22nd in an ESD duel, 36-30. Wiebe still with a leg, even though Tate Elwine's up on his feet now. Elwine slips out, and he ends up on top of Jaden Wiebe, so that's a 2-point reversal. Jaden just, whatever he had, he just couldn't hold on to.
Sometimes you got to know when you're in a bad situation, better to give up one than to give up two.
So it's 6-4 now in our second period, going to come to an end here at 170 pounds.
Then you start looking at time. I mean, you've got 25 seconds left. Finish that period strong. I mean, again, you're better off giving up one, cutting him, get back to his feet, where he's had relatively good success with as well.
Now Wiebe's in the down position to start the third period. Chamberlain duel is up to 182 now. Chamberlain's 182 did not place in the region, as here's Wiebe And he himself has a 2-point reversal, so we're all knotted up at 6-6. Ryan Noyes motioning. Are you saying cut
him loose?
Yeah.
Cut him loose.
You like Jaden's chances on his feet?
Yep.
Against a bigger wrestler, which you had mentioned a moment ago.
And you got a stall call on you right now too. So I mean, you got to be careful making sure that you're getting something done on top here if you're going to continue to ride him out.
There he'll let him free with 1:15 to go. Back to the middle they'll come. 7-6, Tate Elwine leading.
Now he's got plenty of time. He's got over a minute to set up one good shot.
Good shot.
You know, and if you can hit that shot with about 20 seconds left, then you can ride it out and hang on for the win. You take him down too soon, now you got a decision to make, to either cut him loose and tie it up and need another takedown, or like I said, if you score later in the match, you have the 1-point lead, and that's how it'll stay.
And you have a better chance of maybe a guy like Elwine running out of gas and not being able to do a heck of a lot underneath. Now 35 seconds to go. Wiebe will take a shot. Does have him by a leg up high.
Elwine doing a good job just keeping that wrist.
Oh, and here comes Elwine spinning around, but Wiebe got him spun right over and takes him down. That's the second time today that in this match that Jaden Wiebe looked like he was going to get taken down. And he turns the table, and Wiebe's got 10 seconds to hang on here. 8-7, he has the lead. Down to 5. Governor fans right behind him, and Jaden Wiebe's going to get a big win here, 8-7. He defeats Tate Elwine. The Governors tack on 3 more, and it is 22-0. The Governors winning 6 straight to start this quarterfinal duel. In 6 matches now, Pierre already has the same amount scored against the Colonels that they did as what they had 2 weeks ago in the final duel of the regular season. Mitchell won that one 32-22. So far things look decidedly different, and again, Pierre still with work to do as we go to 182 pounds. This is our 7th match out of 14, so we'll be halfway done at the end of this one. This is Gavin Stotts wrestling for the Governors against presumably Joe Van Overshield, their standout 182-pounder. Van Overshield got a technical fall win over Stotts in the duel a couple of weeks ago, and I think Gavin Stotts just going to try to avoid bonus points as much as he can in this one, even though he still has the ability to do what the 2 guys before him have done and maybe come up with an upset victory. So good job as both Deegan Huska and Jaden Wiebe have moved up and earned hard-fought victories.
I think your Stotts, I think you're trying to slow play the situation as much as you possibly can. Overshield, I mean, he just comes at you, but with him, it's 2 shots. He's got a high crotch to the right side, and he's got a sweep single to the left side. And again, if you can basically stop those shots, I think you've given yourself a chance.
And Overshield's got Stotts down at the top of the mat from our vantage point over near the Mitchell bench. He'll get that first 2-point takedown and then ruled out of bounds, so they'll come back to the center. 50 seconds to go, second period. Chamberlain, 182-pounder, hanging in there. Going to go the distance, it looks like, with Rapid City Stevens, but Stevens has a 6-0 lead in that match, currently 26-4. Cubs trailing in the duel. Here's Stotts, who gets up and gets out, so he scores his first point. Now down to 40 seconds left. Here in the first period, Van Overshield still leading 2-1. By the way, we are live streaming audio only on the KGFX page of drgnews.com. Live streams on that KGFX page brought to you by Sioux Nation Ag Center in Fort Pierre. Paisley Dunn running the show back in studio. Brian Oakland alongside with Ryan Noyes and John Wayne Calda. By the way, Gavin Stotts was just warned for stalling here. Stalling warning, and it's still the first period.
He's doing an excellent job of just staying in good position against a very tough competitor. There's only so much you can do to hold a kid like this back from scoring points, and to escape this, looks like it's going to be.
Van Overshield gets a takedown and a 3-second near fall at the end of the first period, so a quick 5-point 4-point flurry rather, and he leads by 5 at 6-1. We'll go to the second period. Driven by the Office of Highway Safety in the state of South Dakota, we are 1060 AM KGFX, 107.1 FM KGFX, a member of DRG Media Group. Live streaming at drgnews.com, your official voice of Pierre Governor Wrestling are the stations of DRG Media Group. The Office of Highway Safety reminds us all, don't drink and drive, stay alive. Stotts underneath here to start the second period. Van Overshield working just fine, though, as far as he's concerned. He leads 6-1, but again, Stotts is trying to do anything he can to keep from getting rolled over right now. Wyatt Powers of Chamberlain, the 182-pounder that wrestled a good match but comes up short. That's 6-0, and Stevens now leads the Cubs 29-4. Again, Winter has defeated Lyman in Class B. Wessington Springs, Woonsocket, Woolsey, Wessington on top of Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes, 34-29. Noah Hutmaker has just won a match by fall in a time of 1 minute and 18 seconds at 195 for Chamberlain, so they'll add up to 10, 29-10, trailing Rapid City Stevens still. And Garrett Rizal will be next at 2:20. Meanwhile, Van Overshield of Mitchell leading Gavin Stotts of Pierre, 35 seconds to go. Stotts just got called for stalling for the second time in this match, so tack on 1 for Mitchell and a 7-1 lead. 25 seconds to go, we're in the second period. Still at 182 between Pierre and Mitchell. They're at 106 with Brandon Valley and T area. Brandon Valley will win that duel. They lead 52-4. Meanwhile, Watertown leading Harrisburg at 182, 16-12. So they're as far along as we are. Stott still down, resetting. 20 seconds counting down, second period. And so far, Gavin Stotts, like you said, Coach Noyes, still wrestling fairly well defensively, not giving up bonus points as of yet. And again, this was a technical fall win for Van Overshield a couple of weeks ago, so at least you're avoiding something big like that from happening so far.
Yeah, you know, I think Gavin's understood that he can certainly go for broke and open up here, but when you do that, that typically doesn't go in your favor. So if you just wrestle smart and understand that, you know, yeah, you'd sure like to get the win as an individual, you got to keep the team in mind.
Boy, Van Overshield makes the nice move here. Stotts tried to get him up high, but Van Overshield got out of it, and then he just spun right around, came back around Stotts, gets the 2-point takedown, now has a major decision margin lead at 9-1. Stotts is out, though.
This is where Stotts has really got to pick up the movement on the feet and just be really hard to take down. Kind of wrestle, be aware of where the edge is, and get out of bounds if you get in trouble.
9-2, the current lead, back to a 7-point margin. And it looked like Villauer was going to let him up and go right after him again, which he did a couple of weeks ago. Now he does get a takedown. Kind of interested to see if, not Villauer, but Van Overshield will cut him loose, or if he just tries to get him on his back with a minute to go. 11-2, and it looks like he'll let him out. 1-point escape. Gavin goes out of bounds, back to an 8-point margin, which is a major decision margin, but better than 5 or 6. Coach Noyes has already said 1, not 2 at times. Maybe in this case 4, not 5.
Right.
Or certainly 4, not 6. Pierre has a 22-0 lead in the duel after 6 matches. Halfway home after this one coming up. Halftime in our broadcast are brought to you by CHS Midwest Cooperatives. We'll hear from them shortly. 35 seconds to go, third period.
Yeah, he just did a nice job there right on the edge of staying busy. But, again, sometimes it's all you can do to get a few more seconds. You're kind of delaying the inevitable.
And Overshield another takedown, now has a 10-point lead. 13-3 here. Mitchell is going to win their first match of this duel. It'll take them 7 matches to do so. And we'll call it a major decision as Mitchell will put 4 on the board, but the Governors still lead on the Wagner Auto scoreboard 22-4. Let's take that 30-second break here from CHS Midwest Cooperatives. We head up to 195 and Jacob Larson next. You're listening to Governor State Tournament Wrestling.
Now, we don't have to tell you that farming gets more complicated every year, but what we can do is bring you Allegiant Seed from CHS Midwest Cooperative. Allegiant brings you leading traits that fits your farm plan perfectly. These are proven farm solutions made simple. And because Allegiant comes from a trusted team that knows your land, choosing Allegiant Seed might just be the simplest decision you make all season. For more information on Allegiant Seed, contact your local CHS Midwest Cooperative today.
Second period fall.
Back in the ice arena, Rushmore Plaza Civic Center, 195 pounds, and it is Jacob Larson of the Pierre Governors as he takes on Blake Fredericks of Mitchell, presumably. Fredericks a 195-pounder. Jacob got a first-round win in the individual tournament today, a 7-0 shutout over a Beersford Alcester Hudson opponent. So Jacob off to a good start here in his senior state tournament. Got 3 seniors coming up. Larson followed by Reagan Bolweg and Preston Taylor. Still on their feet, 50 seconds into the first period here. By the way, River Burkhardt, I heard, wrestled for Chamberlain at 220, but was defeated by fall in the second period. Eli Hewitt of Rapid City Stevens with a victory there. Canyon Burkhardt now on the mat at 285. He has a 2-0 lead. Canyon got a first-round pin. In fact, he's set up to wrestle against Preston Taylor of Pierre in the quarterfinals in the individual bracket tomorrow. Jacob Larson still tied up with Blake Fredericks. Nothing happening. Everybody's neutral still, and 30 seconds to go here in our first period at 195. Fredericks comes up the side of the earpiece of Larson, which I only noticed because it looked to me like last week there was one of the Mitchell wrestlers who kind of got, it looked like he got warned for slapping his opponent upside the head a couple of times, and it wasn't Fredericks, but just maybe a tactic to I'm not saying they're trying to hurt anybody or hit anybody even, but just a way to try to get somebody down.
Yeah, you start out, one guy does it back, he's trying to get him off his game a little bit and try to set up a shot, and then all of a sudden, you know, the guy that's getting hit, he's kind of coming back a little bit harder, and by the time you know it, the guy that started it comes back even harder, just a little bit more out of frustration, and usually it'll end in something like that.
Fredericks, as we start the second period, still hand on head. By the way, Jacob Larson took down and Fredericks let him up. Now Jacob's got a single leg here so far, trying to get Fredericks up in the air and then down on the mat with that 1-0 lead. Governors lead 22-4. Here's Jacob spinning to his right. Still has a hold of the leg. Couldn't get a hold of Fredericks down on the mat. And still now Fredericks tries to roll him over. And he is unable to complete the takedown here. And we'll have a timeout as Jacob Larson is slow to get up.
I tell you what, people at home get an opportunity to rewind that shot from Larson. Go back and take a look at it because he did a phenomenal job. Guys posting on his head, taking it off immediately to a shot. It was pretty picture perfect there. Just too bad he couldn't finish it up.
You know, in that situation, just keep 2 to the leg, you know, and he can always treetop it, raise it up. You know, he was trying to figure out how he was going to finish. He didn't know if he was going to dump him, if he was going to lift him. But if you can just elevate that leg and get him off balance, sometimes that's the easiest way to score.
So an injury timeout here, but Jacob Larson looks like he's about ready to go again. We're still in the second period. Larson leads Blake Fredericks 1-0. Canyon Burkhardt of Chamberlain apparently got a win by fall at 285. Chamberlain trailing Stevens, by the way, 35-16. Still 16-12. They're still wrestling in overtime at 182. Harrisburg, I think that would be Ryan Hirschkorn against Watertown's 182 escapes me now. But ultimate tiebreaker on that perhaps. And a good match. 7-2, Harrisburg wins that one with Hirschkorn, so they will pull within one. It's 16-15. Meanwhile, Larson and Fredericks are still on their feet. Pierre and Mitchell, the Governors leading 22-4. Trey Stoffaker over Tyler Rudebush. Harrisburg over Watertown there. 30 seconds to go, second period in our match at 195. Boy, Brandon Valley gets the winner of this duel. They're going to get some good rest, which you might have expected, as they the top seed against number 8 T Area, but they're at 113 with just 2 more matches to go. 6 seconds to go. We're out of bounds. Second period still. Larson still working hard on his feet. Now he's had his opportunities, guys, with some of these shots, but is he biding his time, or is he just waiting for his opening? Maybe waiting for Fredericks to make a mistake. He's just trying to stay cerebral about it for now.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get to these heavier weights, it's almost to a point where who's going to maybe make a mistake first and not so much who's going to attack first. And I'm not saying that's the situation there, but obviously he's got a 1-0 lead. You know, don't do anything to put himself in danger going into the third period, and let's see if we can't ride him out or even get some points sitting on top here.
And hopefully Jacob's, you know, thinking that I need to be stingy with my points and not give anything up. But, you know, what you don't want to do is get called for stalling, get called for a slam or something. That was pretty close. Yeah. As Jacob just returned him to the mat, he brought him down with bad intentions. And right now he's got a cross wrist and he's working on hopefully slipping a half here.
Couple of finals in Class B duels. Winner actually shuts out Lyman 83-0, and then Canton, the 2 seed, defeating Howard 46-27. Give you all of those scores as we continue a little bit later on. Blake Fredericks is out, and we've got a 1-1 tie with 1:15 to go here at 195.
I just haven't seen Fredericks even
2 legs
in on a shot, but
Larson had him wrapped up, but he lost a handle of that left leg, and Fredericks somehow able to get back to his feet, so we are still neutral in a full minute to go.
I feel comfortable we're going to get back in that situation again with Larson. I think he's been the aggressor most of the time on his feet here. Fredericks hasn't hardly been in on a shot on him. As long as you stay out of these throws right here and get yourself a good position.
Fredericks comes after him. Jacob backs up. We're out of bounds with 44 seconds to wrestle. Talk about a size difference. As Fredericks a little bit taller, it looks like, from up here. And as we've talked plenty about length as an advantage in the sport of wrestling.
And he's able to get in there, though, and he's doing a great job thumb blocking, getting inside ties, and just everything he's doing, he's making it tough on Fredericks getting in on there.
Just now tried to pull him by the arm to grab that leg. Now looking. Tried to get
still there
that fireman's throw, but it's not going to happen. Now we're down to 15 seconds. Fredericks, I think, beat Larson in late time in Mitchell a couple of weeks ago. Down to 8 seconds. If Jacob's got one more move here in regulation time. One last time. Takedown. Yes, that's it at the end. And Jacob Larson with a big finish for the Governors in a 3-1 victory. So Pierre leads Mitchell now 25-4. Guys, all right, we talk about biding your time. You can't bide your time any longer than that.
That was a perfect example of wrestling to win.
Yep.
There's times when you want to hold on and be real careful. Like I said earlier, be stingy with your points. But that was a perfect situation of I want to win this match, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do it.
Well, he didn't get that fireman throw earlier, but this time, I mean, he completed it pretty well, and no doubt about it. But just in a flash, all of a sudden, you wrestle that full match, and if you're Blake Fredericks, you're kind of wondering what hit me, you know. But here we go. Big matches coming up now at 220 and 285. We'll start at 220. Reagan Bullweg, the undefeated senior for the Governors, top ranked in the state, taking on Wyatt Winter. Winter, a senior who is 25-5. Out of bounds once, resetting early in the match. Chamberlain losing at 106 as Wiley Elwood gets pinned by the Rapid City Stevens 6-pounder. Now Devin Anderson on the mat for the Cubs. 41-16, Rapid City Stevens in front with 3 matches to go in that duel, so Stevens will defeat Chamberlain, the 2 over the 7 seed in the first round of this dual tournament. So again here with Bollweg and Winter. Reagan Bollweg beat Wyatt Winter 6-5 2 weeks ago, but had a little bit better and a little more in control match in the region championship a week ago, beat him 7-2. Here's Reagan tried to get low on 2 legs, but now he tries to throw him out of bounds, and boy, that isn't going to feel good for Wyatt Winter. Coach Calder, you saw something there that...
yeah, just, I mean, he basically kind of went to an over-under and was trying to hip toss him out, but just more upper body, more kind of elbow-to-elbow type situation. Just
see the strength of Reagan Bollweg to be able to do that, but... and Wyatt Winter, as they are working on his left elbow, maybe the mobility of the shoulder right now. I think he landed right on that left shoulder. But he's back and ready to go. They cut the blood time with 1 minute and 1 second to go. First period, we're still on our feet, Bollweg and Winter. All right, Reagan Bollweg, let's talk about him. Loses in the state finals a year ago in sudden victory overtime on a technicality point. Unfinished business, obviously, all season long. Gets a 30-second win by fall, first round this morning, but still doing now whatever he can to help the team in this sense. And, what's your mindset for Bollweg from the beginning of this season to now as we come to the state tournament?
I mean, you take it back to even last year, just the addition to him on this team. He's been bought in ever since he came here, and I mean he kind of knew what he was getting himself into. But he's been welcomed with open arms, and just another one of the boys out there. And he's helping guys in the wrestling room and making them better. Just everything about him in the school, his attitude, personality, everything has just been top notch with this kid.
First period done, all neutral, no scoring as of yet, but Bollweg will take the choice to the down position to start the second period. Our first duel in the Class A dual tournament is done for the day. Brandon Valley has defeated T Area 61-14. Bollweg quickly out in the first 5 seconds of the second period. He'll take a 1-0 lead. Again, Rapid City Stevens leads Chamberlain 41-16. And now it is Harrisburg on top of Watertown, 21-16, as they get set to begin their 220-pound match. Bollweg throws Winter out of bounds once again. It's almost like a patented move, something you expect from Bollweg just to try to get the throws, but he's playing those safe to be on the edge just in case, and here we saw that for the second time in this match.
You've seen it work with Deegan Huska. I mean, it's one of those two where you're really not losing much on the edge of the mat there, and there's a chance that you can obviously gain something from it as well.
Under 1.5 minutes to go, second period. Bollweg leading 1-0. Winter coming after him, but Bollweg, stiff arm.
It reminds me a lot of a kid that I wrestled from Mitchell a long time ago, where size is hard to shoot in on him. He's very strong, very well put together, and short, and so you really have to change your levels a lot to get underneath and get a good shot. So Wyatt Winter creates some problems matchup-wise for Reagan. Reagan's never really been in trouble. He's just hard to score on.
Yeah. Well, he almost had a double leg, but again runs out of room, so they're back in resetting once again. Still 1-0. Bollweg with the early escape to start this second period.
I think one thing I'm really impressed with as a team tonight I'm seeing is, it's not been every match, but, Mitchell's coming out and they're pushing. They're pushing hard, and we're capitalizing on that. You go back to Larson's match, hitting that fireman's at the end because, again, guy was coming after him. Situations here, he just keeps coming, and, eventually those shots are going to come, whether it's, again, lateral toss or whether it's a fireman's or something, because they're just applying so much pressure onto you.
1-0. Bollweg throws Winter to the side, now trying to get him down here. He's in. Winter is out, but we've got a clasping call here. Are they saying Bollweg grabbed the jersey?
Yep.
Where have we seen that before?
Well, it's the second time today, not with him, but that's the second call I've seen today. But, yeah, obviously last year as well.
Last year, that's how he lost in overtime to Gavin Gulbranson. Here's Bollweg going a more conventional. Got one leg turned into two, gets him down, toes in. He's out of bounds, but 3-1. Reagan Bollweg will take the lead. And now as he is on top of the last 7 seconds here, picks the ankle to keep him up and belly down on the mat, and the second period comes to an end. So Reagan Bollweg has a 3-1 lead. 2 weeks ago in the duel, though, Reagan got penalized for 3 points in a 6-5 win over Wyatt Winter. You can't keep giving guys like this continued opportunities. You certainly don't want to help guys like Wyatt Winter, who are 25-5 or 26-4 on the season. Because it just seems like Winter's he's just waiting for his opportunity to catch Bollweg in a mistake, and not that Reagan makes a lot of them, but Winter is good enough to take advantage of things like that. I mean, I'll tell you what, this Wyatt Winter, he's been around a while. He's just been a solid wrestler. As Mitchell has filled other weight classes and gotten better, a lot more depth, Wyatt Winter's been the constant that they've had for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah. Reagan's got a wing here. I'd like to see him just cup that far shoulder and just run it until he goes. He'll go eventually. I mean, he can either switch off to a bar arm or slip a half, but just get out there and put some pressure on the upper torso.
Minute 10 to go, third period. A Bollweg 3-1 advantage. Governors lead the duel 25-4. Bollweg and Winter here. Preston Taylor and Beau Foot, who seem like arch rivals, coming up in the next match. Bollweg working on both wings here now. Muscles him over. Winter's turned over. 45 seconds to go. Winter somehow keeping one shoulder off of the mat, but this one big, strong move by Reagan Bollweg has him a little bit more comfortably in control. Winter is now face and belly down again.
Got same
but
thing.
Bollweg's coming right back at it. Now shoulders up for Winter. Officials trying to get a close look. Reagan almost has to get that leg out of there so he can see it a little more clearly. Third period, final 20 seconds. Here's 3 back points that'll be awarded now, and Bollweg will be content, I think, to leave it at that. 7 seconds. He's got a 6-1 lead, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. Tries him one more time, but that won't be enough. 6-1. Bollweg with another win over Wyatt Winter. The Governors tack on 3. They lead 28-4. We go to 285 after a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Pierre Governor Postseason Wrestling.
Smart grocery shopping takes a little bit of TLC. Lynn's Dakota Mart in Pierre is thrifty, local, and convenient. Shop Lynn's Dakota Mart for the freshest produce, highest quality meats, and delicious bakery items. Shopping Lynn's Dakota Mart is easier because of the spacious aisles. Everything is easy to find. Lynn's Dakota Mart has recently updated their store and takes pride in providing you a clean shopping environment. Lynn's Dakota Mart Good Neighbor Pharmacy offers free delivery and mail out too. Thrifty, local, convenient. Lynn's Dakota Mart in Pierre, your hometown neighborhood market.
Either way.
285 we go as we welcome you back to the State Dual Wrestling Tournament. Day number 1 of 3 now in the state tournament. Second year as the resurgence of the duels. Preston Taylor on the mat for the Pierre Governors, taking on Beau Foot, the 285-pounder of the Mitchell Colonels, and Beau Foot will strike first with a takedown of Preston Taylor. 2-0 here, 1:23 to go. Ryan Oakland along with John Wayne Calden, Ryan Noyes. Always appreciate the guys' expertise, having us with our coverage of Pierre Governor Wrestling. Also looking in on Chamberlain and Rapid City Stevens from time to time. It's 51-16 Stevens, and in fact they're wrestling in their final match. Chamberlain has a 6-1 lead in the second period, however, in this match, so looks like they're in good shape to get one more victory, which would be their 4th in the match. Gabe Skustad.
Santiago.
Oh, it's Dominic Santiago right there, but Skustad with a win, and also Noah Hutmaker and Canyon Burkhardt at 195 and 285 with wins by fall for the Cubs. But Dominic Santiago looking good right now in a 6-1 advantage. Beau Foot working over the top of Preston Taylor. 35 seconds to go. Beau Foot, in his 3rd year as a varsity wrestler, went to the state championship match against Nash Hutmaker a couple of years ago. Didn't take him long to come up short in that one, but as he's trying a half Nelson here, but Taylor gets up on his knees to make that a little bit more difficult. Foot Taylor gets up on his feet, trying to work out an escape with 5 seconds to go. Won't get it here. Then they'll go back and reset as they're out of bounds on the bottom of the circle. Beaufoot in the individual bracket is the 2 seed. Preston Taylor is the 3. Navarro Shunke unbeaten for Brandon Valley is the number 1 seed. Guys, I tell you what, every time I look at these two, you see Preston Taylor as a quite a bit bigger guy than Beaufoot, but you just can't help but wonder about the strength of Beaufoot and something technically for Beaufoot. Just we talk about matchup problems, and what is it about Foot that's a matchup problem for Preston Taylor?
He's just very patient. I mean, he doesn't get in a hurry, and I think sometimes with Preston, he feels like he's got to hurry up and score. Something's got to happen. He's got to do something right away, and just be patient. Just wrestle. You got 6 minutes to get it done, and he needs to sometimes take all 6 minutes to do it.
And there's times those athletic heavyweights, they can throw some fits on a lot of guys. It doesn't matter who they are. Again, you just get them in a situation where maybe their speed, just being able to finish, move a little bit quicker, something like that. I mean, obviously, it just not a similar style of what some of those heavyweights are used to wrestling.
We have seen these two. Well, this is the 4th time they're wrestling this year. Here's Preston trying to get Bo down, but they're out of bounds. So Preston beat him in the Rapid City Invite, 11-8, but then in the duel a couple of weeks ago, Beaufoot with a victory. I think he pinned him that night and then beat him in the region last week as well. Foot, of course, the region champion. Taylor, the runner-up.
I mean, and I think the deal breaker for Preston is, we know where he wants to go. If he can get this done, I think he's going to come out, victorious. If he can't get to that, if he can't get to his double overs and end up getting on his back, obviously I think that's where he starts to, fall apart just a little bit.
You just said we know where he wants to go, and he's getting this move here, trying to trip up Bo, trying to spin him over, but he's trying to do it at the edge, and it looked like he had him this last opportunity, but was not able to keep him in bounds and did not stay in bounds himself. Now trying to trip it up, but Bo slips out of that. Preston slips out of the hold, and now Beaufoot takes Preston Taylor down. Good patient Beaufoot right there, 4-0. He has the lead.
He's defended so hard. I think you're going to see the wheels fall off him. So if Preston just relax here, stay in good shape, and come out strong in the 3rd period, we might be just fine.
It'd be interesting to see where Foot goes here in the 3rd period.
Right.
You probably don't want to go both up, but again, you're going down. That's not a great situation to be either if you're tired and you got a 270-pound guy on top of you.
Well, he is going to go down, leading 4-0.
And if I'm Preston Taylor, I'm cutting him loose right from the get-go and going right back to the feet. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't need to get reversed.
Good call.
And then be down the whole 3rd period.
Chamberlain match complete as Dominic Santiago gets a major decision win in that final match, but Rapid City Stevens, the 2 seed in the dual tournament, defeats the 7-seeded Cubs 51-20. Great season dual-wise for Coach John Donovan and company, and what a job Chamberlain's done this season after losing Nash Hutmaker and the seniors that they had from a year ago. Coach Donovan told me he was very pleased last week. He told me last week he's very pleased with that very thing about how well the kids that are still there have responded.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of him and just his entertaining coaching style and just, energetic and how he gets his guys wrestling. And again, he finally had a good thing, or I shouldn't say finally, because he's had some good kids in the past. But just seeing Hutmaker come through, and I think that's only going to help propel that program in that season from here on. And just get more guys interested and showing them, hey, this can be done if we just put in the work and start buying into what he's doing and believing what he's doing.
Program is really coming on, and and even some of the turnarounds this year. Last couple of years, Noah Hutmaker has just been kind of green still, but he's really come on and has had a fantastic year. Now Preston Taylor finally letting Beaufoot go. A minute into the 3rd period, Foot will get the escape and takes a 5-0 lead. For Preston Taylor, we've seen it time and time again. It just takes one move, one throw, and certainly when you're trailing 5-0, you have that opportunity, but you got to make something happen fairly quickly now. Down to 30 seconds as these two have been on their feet now. Foot tries to get him off of his feet and down, but Preston Taylor rolling him over. Nope, Bo Foot still has that advantage. And now Foot will lead Taylor 7-0. You know, and I'll be honest with you, as Bo Foot's going to win this match, it's not that I root against Bo Foot. It's not that I really think Preston Taylor is better than Bo Foot, but it's just amazing. There's just something in me that doesn't. It is slow to become a believer in Bo Foot, but I got to start believing in a lot of other people. Probably a lot of other people who wear green for most of the week they got to start believing in Bo Foot too.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think Preston can definitely, I think the last 30 seconds there, if he comes out and presses the issue a little bit, even tries to force a couple stall calls and maybe has to force him to come and wrestle him a little bit, I think he could maybe close that gap and get to something that he wants to get to. But, we'll maybe see that matchup again tomorrow or on Saturday. I'm not sure where they're sitting on the side of the bracket, but, again, I think Preston got the ability to win that match. Just got to get to his stuff.
All right, so we're past 285 now, and we started at 132, so we have 4 bouts to go, and we roll over to 106 pounds. And at 106, that means Spencer Aldine for Pierre. And, guys, is this Lincoln Schonard on the mat for I should say Aldine for Mitchell, but Lincoln Schonard is wrestling for the Governors.
Yes, he is.
And look at Lincoln with a 2-0 lead. Drawing first blood. If you missed it earlier in the first match of the day for the Governors, Lincoln Schonard got put onto his face pretty hard and was not able to continue and surrendered the first match to Corbin Osborne of Sturgis by injury default. But here he is back, feeling a little bit better, and he has faced Aldine twice in the last couple of weeks, lost both of them 11-2 and then 7-2. Now he's got a 2-0 lead, 1 minute plus gone by here at 106 pounds.
Lincoln's a kid that's come out of our middle school program, and obviously we have a pretty solid middle school program. He's got a lot of skills, and it's just a matter of having confidence to believe that he can do it. And right now, he's out front 2-0. If he can just keep kind of plugging away, keep scoring where he can, this would be a good win for him.
Spencer Aldine was lost his first match of the day 10-0, and I could see him right away, just was very dejected after that loss. He loses to Caleb Hodges, a 7th grader from Madison. So Hodges 21-13 on the season. Aldine is 25-13. But a junior losing to a 7th grader, I know Spencer was very disappointed with that result in the first round. Schonard still leading 2-0. 7 seconds to wrestle. And Spencer Aldine so far just does not look like the same guy we've seen a couple of times in the last 2 weeks.
And the other factor we're looking at, this is a first 2-day tournament for a lot of teams. So when or 3-day tournament in this case, and so you're starting to see a lot of guys where, they're having to manage their weight. And maybe that plays a little bit into it, where all of a sudden they're not able to eat and drink and get some energy back and try to, maintain things to make weight again tomorrow. So I don't know if that's kind of come into play with some of these guys as far as, if it's jitters, first round matchup. There's a lot of things that can come into play when you're at the state wrestling tournament, no doubt.
Schonard started down 12 seconds in, up on his feet, and Aldine got him back to the mat. Looked like Lincoln had another opportunity, but Spencer Aldine will still keep him at bay here. Well, let's do some math. We've got results of 4 matches still to come as the Governors lead by 21. Here's Schonard. He's got a reversal, and he's got Aldine on his back. Lincoln Schonard takes a 4-0 lead, but can he get Aldine on the mat? As we're talking about math, basically what it boils down to is the Governors need to win one of these last 4 matches to win this first round duel, as they battle the Mitchell Colonels, and Brandon Valley awaits. Got the Lynx wrestlers all watching this one, as they have already defeated T-Area by quite a margin, 61-14. But Lincoln Schonard reversing Spencer Aldine. Got Aldine's wing wrapped around behind him, but Spencer is back face and belly down. But
we transitioned really nicely into a wing right now, which is, again, just great flow, just constantly just going from one thing to the next, understanding situations.
So he had a wing on the right, trying half Nelson, it looks like, on the left. 3 back points now awarded after the sequence that Schoenhard put that flurry on about 30 seconds ago. Now with 20 seconds to go, second period, Lincoln Schoenhard really looking strong.
He does. He looks fantastic. And right now, he just needs to stay in good position. Get the win. Don't go for broke. Don't go for bonus points right now. Just get the win.
Well, you don't have to. Like we said, Pierre up by 21. The best Mitchell can do is to score 24 from here. And yes, they still are mathematically in this one. Could ultimately win this duel 31-28. But again, even if Lincoln Schoenhard, for example, or if any Governor wrestler wins by decision, right now Pierre would go up 31-7. And then the best Mitchell could do is tie, but even in a tie right now, you got to think the Governors have the criteria with most matches that would have been won. Right now, Mitchell has only won 2 matches. The Governors have won 8. So Mitchell can only win a maximum of 6 matches, at that being said.
Yeah, be patient. Sit. I mean, no need to force the issue here. Right. You've got basically both arms tied up right there. I mean,
and Ryan Noyes, you're a math teacher, right?
No. Far from.
Okay. Because I just made another mathematical error.
Yeah.
Actually, if Pierre wins this, it's 31-7, and Mitchell only has 18 possible points after that. But
you started talking numbers.
You know a good mathematician.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
You started talking numbers, and I went to my happy place.
So right now, Lincoln Schoenhard, a minute into the third period, still pitching a shutout here, 7-0. Schoenhard at 106. Lincoln started wrestling varsity mid-season. How far can you come in mid-season after going 500 the rest of the way and just really, I mean, the answer is Lincoln Schoenhard, but the rhetorical question is how far has he come personally from then until now?
Yeah, and he's had the tools, and that's the good thing about him. It's just been now making that progression from wrestling middle schoolers to now wrestling high schoolers, and again, learning positions and learning how to win, and not, sometimes we use the shoot type of kind of metaphor where you're setting up your good shots and you're looking for, those opportunities instead of, possibly making mistakes. And every match he comes out just seems to get better and better and better.
Well, there was a takedown in there, 3-2-1. Lincoln Schoenhard finishes a 9-0 major decision over Spencer Aldine. The Governors tack on 4, and the Governors have won this duel, even though there are 3 matches to go. So we'll move up to 113 pounds as Noah Williams will take on Caleb Hubbard, we presume. But boy, that is, I'll tell you what, guys, there are some swing matches when Pierre and Mitchell get together. We saw it a couple of weeks ago, but all of the swing matches, it seems today, have gone the way of the Governors. And here's Williams going right at Hubbard. Had the move, but doesn't have the takedown yet. Now as he spins around, there it is, a 2-pointer for Noah Williams.
I'm going to go back to momentum. I mean, again, you start wrestling a duel like this, you look at Pierre's bench versus Mitchell's bench, and it's completely different personality, if you want to call it that. And, we've got, guys that are winning big matches over here, and, we got guys on the other side with their heads down, and they're trying to figure, what are we doing this for right now? And just, there's no point of winning the duel, but yet, that's kind of tough to keep those emotions in check, especially for a high school kid.
Noah Williams leading 2-0. By the way, Harrisburg is going to defeat Watertown, the 6 seed over the 3 seed, which I got to be honest, a bit of a surprise. Watertown has really dueled well this year. They beat Brandon Valley in the final week of the regular season.
Not to mention a great first round of the individual tournament.
Yes, today. They did. Boy, they sure did. Watertown and Brandon Valley, 35 points apiece. They're at the top. But Harrisburg right now, as they have two matches to go, Harrisburg leads 36-22. So they have mathematically clinched that duel, and they will take on Rapid City Stevens in the semifinals coming up a little later on. So as the Governors have clinched this duel over Mitchell, we do know that we will have a second duel coming up. immediately following this one, so we invite you to stick with us as we approach the 6 o'clock hour Central Time. Williams still leading 2-0, 30 seconds to go, first period. Now, talking about Noah Williams, as he'll be cautioned for a false start here on the reset, but Noah and Nate, after Lincoln Schoenhardt couldn't continue in that first round match, but I just don't think we saw typical Noah Williams and Nate Williams. They had first round losses, and in their first two matches, and John Calda points my attention back to the match as Noah Williams just got Caleb Hubbard caught, and it's a win by fall in 1 minute and 42 seconds. What happened there?
Sladle. just an old-fashioned Sladle, which, you're going back to these guys. I mean, both those guys. That's those kind of matches that they need right now. They've got to get that confidence back up again, and hopefully match right now, and hopefully that match here later on is going to help propel them into tomorrow and just keep rolling along.
All right, so Noah Williams with a win by fall makes it 38-7, and it looks like Sean Lewis, Travis Heasley have thought about this, and they say, I think we're good.
Yeah.
And Pierre is going to forfeit the last two matches, so wins for Brandon Sparks over Nate Williams, and for Jagger Tyler over Blake Judson. But make it 38-13, and then 38-19. The Governors are essentially saying, bring on Brandon Valley. So the Pierre Governors in the final score on the Wagner Auto scoreboard here. In duel number one, they defeat the Mitchell Colonels 38-19. Mitchell won this duel 32-22 2 weeks ago. And the Governors are moving on and in a team huddle right now as Pierre with a very, very good duel win over the Mitchell Colonels. Pierre, by the way, 15-4 in duels on the season. Harrisburg and Watertown are still wrestling, so we have a little time to recap this one. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back to talk about it. We'll give you the full recap, and we've got a player of the game that's brought to you by Bauman Lumber coming up in our postgame as well, as Pierre defeats Mitchell 38-19. Governor State Tournament Wrestling on 1060 AM and 107.1 FM KGFX, drgnews.com, live streaming audio only, and also on the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo. We're back in 2 minutes for the postgame.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino, from the App Store or Google Play. It only takes a moment, so you'll have it to replay this game. See live and archived video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino. Download it now at the App Store or Google Play.
He weighs only 22 pounds. He sleeps most of the day, but he has a lot of squeaky toys. And whoo, boy, does he like to run. If your new puppy or other addition to your family has turned your starter home from cozy to cramped, it might be time to talk to a member of the First Dakota National Bank's home loan team about the competitive rates on our More Room for the Dog to Run loans. Bank yourself at home with First Dakota, because who knew a puggle could take up so much space? Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
I'm going to give two.
Avera St. Mary's Hospital and Avera Gettysburg Hospital are hiring. If you've been looking for a job that provides an upward career path paired with excellent wages and benefits, Avera is for you. Positions include certified nursing assistants with a $1,000 sign-on bonus and on-the-job training and certification. Also seeking patient service representative that includes a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Housekeeping positions also available. View positions and details and apply online at averajobs.org. Avera is an equal opportunity affirmative action employer.
Health, happiness, and home. Hi, this is Tara Sunshine of Kathy Sunshine Properties. Interest rates continue to be very low. Now is a great time to buy your first home or upgrade to your dream home. The team at Kathy Sunshine Properties can help you meet all your needs. Contact me, Tara Sunshine, at 224-5588 or TaraD@midconetwork.com. I look forward to working with you.
Breaking news has heard through all the local and national media. A blizzard is upon us coming February 27th. We want to prepare you for all the great deals available in Central South Dakota. Prices will be slashed and deals will be made. This is no fake news here, folks. This is the real deal. This is the 44th annual blizzard sale going on at Wagner Auto Company, Central South Dakota's oldest auto dealer. A free car will be given away and door prizes all day long. Be on the lookout through all the media sources for special pricing on all vehicles. 44th annual blizzard sale, Wagner Auto, Pierre, South Dakota.
The staff at Dakota Prairie Bank is proud to support our young athletes. This time of year isn't just busy for them, but for moms, dads, and other sports fans as well. So when you're on the go, Dakota Prairie Bank provides services that make banking simpler for you, like their online banking. It's quick and convenient and a big help during this busy time of year. Good luck to all the participants from your fans at Dakota Prairie Bank, located in Fort Pierre with branches in Presho, Draper, and White River. Member FDIC.
Dakota Prairie Bank.
Well, we welcome you back to the Ice Arena, the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center in Rapid City. Brian Oakland with Ryan Noyes and John Wayne Calda as the Governors get a first-round dual victory, defeating the Mitchell Colonels 38-19. We started at 132 pounds, and Kaylor Heinman got a good win right off the bat against Brock Sparks, 5-3. The Governors took a 3-0 lead, and then Hayden Schaefer followed with what we probably expected, a heavy favorite victory for Hayden Schaefer over Riley McGinnis. A minute and 17 seconds to win by fall. The Governors off and running with a 9-0 lead. And then the Governors jockey their lineup a little bit. Trey Lewis, the freshman, steps in at 145. Tyson Johnson, Deegan Huska, Jaden Wiebe all move up a weight class. Trey Lewis gets a good win over Connor Thielen, 12-2. That put the Govs on top 13-0. Tyson Johnson gets a win 4-2 over a bigger wrestler in Tyson Deegan as the Governors win by decision and make it 16-0. But then Deegan Huska defeats Tucker Vilhauer 4-3. Big win for the Governors that makes it 19-0. And then Jaden Wiebe followed suit with a win over Tate Elwine 8-7. 22-0. Our score is the Governors won the first 6 matches of this dual event. Joe Van Overshield defeats Gavin Stotts for Mitchell's first win of the day. That was a major decision, 13-3. Mitchell pulled back within 22-4, but the Governors come up with a last-second takedown victory, 3-1 for Jacob Larson as he defeats Blake Fredericks, and the Pierre lead grew back to 25-4. Then Reagan Bolway gets a 6-1 win over Wyatt Winter by decision. Preston Taylor, though, losing 7-0 to Beau Foote. The Governors leading the Colonels 28-7 after the 285-pound weight class, and then the Governors needing just one of the last 4 to clinch the duel, and Lincoln Schonard, the 7th grader, losing to Spencer Eldine twice in the last couple, basically the last week and a half, maybe 10 to 12 days. But this time he pitches the shutout 9-0 over Spencer Eldine. That clinches the duel for the Governors. They had a 32-7 lead. Noah Williams follows with a win by fall in a minute and 42 seconds to make it 38-7. And then Pierre didn't have to do anything at 120 and 126. They're saving perhaps Nate Williams and Blake Judson for the Omi brothers of the Brandon Valley Lynx. That is Pierre's next opponent. But wins by forfeit for Mitchell make it 38-13 after 120, and then after 126, our final weight class, Mitchell wins it 38, or I should say Pierre wins it over Mitchell 38-19. That's your final on the Wagner Auto scoreboard. Wagner Auto of Pierre, by the way, the one place to go for BS coming up this weekend. And coaches, Noyes, Calda, boy, I tell you what, I would say a statement made by the Governors. And, Mitchell had the matchup advantage, I think, a couple of weeks ago in their own high school gym. But Govs come back very strong and definitely make a statement. They are here to really compete. And I think they hopefully for Pierre, they can keep the momentum going now against a bigger and stronger Brandon Valley team.
Well, again, we talked about the importance of momentum earlier. They have to feel pretty good after that win. And so it'll be big. You come out right out of the gates at, is it 38 we start at?
If we move up, yeah, it'll be 38. 138.
And so Schaefer's got to get us started right, and if we can just keep the ball rolling, hopefully we can sneak one out against the number 1 team.
Hey, I look, big picture as well, not just today, not just tonight, but also the weekend of, there's some guys in those matches that got some big confidence boosters, and I think that hopefully carry him into this duel, and we start looking at those first round matchups tomorrow with the individual portion of it. I like the progression that we've made from this morning to where we're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, by the way, we haven't mentioned it, but quarterfinals will start at 11 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. That's when we'll start reporting for a Friday morning of high school wrestling here on KGFX once again. But one order of business to take care of, and it's a tough decision, actually. It's the naming of today's player of the game here in this first duel. Players of the game brought to you by Bauman Lumber in Fort Pierre. We'll hear from Bauman Lumber, and then we'll come back and tell you who today's outstanding wrestler of duel number 1 is, as we give you state tournament dual wrestling for the Pierre Governors on KGFX.
When you need building supplies, there's no need to go anywhere except Bauman Lumber in Fort Pierre. Bauman Lumber is locally owned and offers quality products, expert advice, free estimates, and free local delivery for large or small projects. Whether it's a home improvement project, remodel job, or all new construction, they even welcome special orders. Quality building material and affordable prices for residential or commercial products can be found at Bauman Lumber, 1223 Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre, or call 223-9762.
Bauman Lumber player of the game, and we might actually say players of the game, because this was really a great turn of events for the Pierre Governors when they jockeyed their lineup and they brought in Trey Lewis to go at 145, which is really nothing new for the Governors. Trey Lewis has had plenty of opportunities at the varsity level this year. Tyson Johnson moves from 45 up to 152. Mitchell actually brought down Tyson Dagan to take on Tyson Johnson. Johnson had a good match. Wasn't a runaway by any stretch. It was only 4-2. But when Deegan Huska moves up to 160 and takes on, I'm not going to say pound for pound the best wrestler Mitchell's got, but one of their top 3 best pound for pounds, and beats him 4-3 with a win over Tucker Vilhauer. Deegan Huska is our player of the game. But guys, not only that, then you bring in Jaden Wiebe up to 160, and Wiebe beating Tate Elwine, a bigger, maybe I don't know about tougher, but a bigger guy, and another key win for the Governors there, right in the middle of our duel. And I think Pierre wins the first 6 duels, and if they don't do that, then we got definitely a much more interesting duel without Huska and Wiebe's efforts.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Noyes brought it up earlier, and guys wrestling to win. And you throw those 2 matches out there. You throw in Larson. You throw in, I think there's 1 or 2 other matches where we won within the last 15 seconds and just kind of capitalized on their aggressiveness and basically kind of their mistakes and not really just, hoping for an overtime victory and so on, but just making something out of nothing and just finding a way. And that's what it takes to win championships on the dual side. That's what it's going to take to win championships also on the individual side.
Gets a little tougher here with Brandon Valley, though, obviously, and Brandon Valley had an easy win over T Area, but maybe the Governors have something up their sleeve here. Brandon Valley, maybe not the same lineup they had the last time they met, January 22nd.
It'll be interesting to see, who they throw out there. When they're expected to win it. On the individual side, are they gonna throw all their heavy hitters out there? Are they gonna give somebody a break? So this is going to be a super interesting duel.
All right, so players of the game once again, and we've got to give major honorable mention to Lincoln Schoenhardt, who had his 9-0 major decision win over Spencer Eldine. But today, it's for this duel, it's Deegan Huska and Jaden Wiebe. We'll give them 1 each. KGFX Sports and Bauman Lumber player of the game shirts as the Governors defeat the Mitchell Colonels 38-19. Also in Class A, Brandon Valley over T Area 61-14. Rapid City Stevens beat Chamberlain 51-20, and having just finished up, Watertown falling. Actually, Harrisburg defeating Watertown 39-28 in that one. Take a look at the B bracket, and winner shuts out Lyman in their first round duel. 83-0. Winner with the win over the Lyman Raiders. And then Redfield area defeats McCook Central Montrose 39-28. Canton over Howard 46-27. Canton will take on Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes, who comes from behind and defeats Wessington Springs Woonsocket Woolsey Wessington 39-34. So other area teams that were wrestling in the dual tournament, Chamberlain and Lyman, are out. Winner continues on, as does Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes. So again, it's Winner against Redfield, Canton against Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes in the B bracket. And in the A bracket, it'll be 2 seed Rapid City Stevens against number 6 Harrisburg, and the number 5 seed Pierre Governors taking on the number 1 seed Brandon Valley Lynx. Let's take a 60-second timeout. We'll come back and get into the abbreviated pregame. We'll give you starting lineups, and we'll hear from the coaches again with more keys to success. We'll talk about game officials, all coming up in 60 seconds as you listen to Pierre Governor State Tournament Wrestling on 1060 KGFX and drgnews.com.
With more and more people being at home, chances are you'll access a social media site to stay in touch with family and friends. Before you do this, please check your privacy settings to ensure you're being the safest you can be. For step-by-step instructions on how to check and change your privacy settings for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and the like, go to consumer.sd.gov. With questions, contact South Dakota Consumer Protection Division, 1-800-300-1986, or email consumerhelp@state.sd.us.
Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it. It's the kind of pride that you feel inside, the spirit of our hometown. Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it.
Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, proud to be your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a reason they call it Champs Chicken. It knocks out the competition hands down. Cowboys Country Store is home to Champs Chicken. Buy the piece, buy the bucket, add some delicious sides. Great for on the go. Cowboys Country Store on Harrison and in Fort Pierre serves breakfast starting at 5 a.m. Right now, get 2 sausage, ham, or bacon breakfast sandwiches for just $5. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboys Country Store in Pierre and Fort Pierre.
Envirotech makes life a little bit simpler. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is handed to you, Envirotech has you covered. One call is all it takes to have easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use their mobile app, Waste Connect. Check their website or receive a robocall for collection schedule changes due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Welcome back to the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center, getting ready for semifinal round of the state dual wrestling tournament. The Pierre Governors will take on the Brandon Valley Lynx here on your official home of the Governors, DRG Media Group Station, 1060 AM, 107.1 FM, KGFX. Brian Oakland along with John Calda, Ryan Noyes. Let's give you a quick rundown of starting lineups in this one, as we will start at 138 pounds, and again, we'll assume the lineups until we see otherwise. Hayden Schaefer for the Governors at 138 against Tegan Harstad of Brandon Valley. It'll be Tyson Johnson at 145 against Caden Langenhorst for the Lynx. Deegan Huska at 152 against Grayson Bortnum of Brandon Valley, who is the only Brandon Valley weight class that did not qualify for the individual tournament. We'll see how Brandon Valley plays that. Jaden Wiebe at 160 takes on undefeated Isaac Klinkhammer, the senior for Brandon Valley. Then Lucas Chamberlain at 170 pounds to take on Lucas Slack for the Lynx. Gavin Stotts will go at 182 against Dominic Tucker, the junior for Brandon. Jacob Larson at 195 against Brandon's Luke Wickersham. Reagan Bolweg still unbeaten now, 24-0, takes on Owen Warren, who is 37, make it 38-3, but 2 of those losses at least to Reagan Bolweg on the season. Preston Taylor at 285 against unbeaten Navarro Shunke, 41-0 for Brandon Valley. Then we roll it over at 106 again. Lincoln Schoenhardt, the 7th grader, takes on the junior Hayden McGuire, who has stepped in and filled that spot for Brandon Valley. Noah Williams at 113 for Pierre. Jacob Wolf for Brandon Valley. He's 15-1 on the season. Nate Williams wrestles at 120 against Jordan Omi. the junior, who is 30-4 on the year, and then Blake Judson at 126 for Pierre. He is 26-4. He would take on Trayson Omi, 23-0 on the season, undefeated as a sophomore. And Kaylor Heinman will finish for the Governors at 132 pounds against Alex Menser for Brandon Valley. So 20, 26, 32, especially a strong way to finish for Brandon Valley with what they've got, but the Governors showed some good strength and good poise and really good aggressiveness in that first round win, 38-19 over the Mitchell Colonels. Those are your starting lineups. Guys, how do you see this one this time around?
Well, obviously,
that's a tough question to answer, I know.
They're number one for a reason. Yep. They've beaten us once, and this is exactly the position that I love to be in as a coach. You're sending your kids out there, and you tell them everyone in this place is expecting us to lose. You've got nothing to worry about. Just go out and wrestle as hard as you can. Let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, that's usually where you start to see good things happen, and you possibly catch a team that's maybe a little tense. Maybe they're a little, trying to force too many things, trying to do too many things, and obviously you get a chance, catch them, come out on top. Just stay within yourselves. That's basically what you got to do.
As we just get underway, 138 pounds, Hayden Schaefer takes on Tegan Harstad of Brandon Valley. Our opening match of this duel brought to you by Lynn's Dakota Mart stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Hayden Schaefer going right for a single leg. Schaefer already beat Harstad once today. Actually, that was a first-round matchup in the individual tournament, and 25 seconds in, Schaefer completes the takedown, so he'll go to work on Harstad. Governors move to our left, gone from the outside mat to the inside one that Brandon Valley was on earlier in the first round in their win over the 8-seed T area. But again, Lynn's Dakota Mart with the opening match of this dual tournament. We should also mention our law on the mat, and again, to our mat officials who are working this tournament, some peer in Central South Dakota, local interest, but match officials are Brock Bessler, Tyler Bryant, who's out of Sioux Falls now, of course, a three-time state champion wrestler from Pierre, Brian Carrolls, Dave Korneman of Yankton, Chris Dozark of Pierre is officiating the state wrestling tournament, Todd Dvoracek of Yankton, Doyle Everson of Rapid City, Colin Fink of Sioux Falls, Rod Fortin of T, Scott Gangle of Lake City, then Jason Hill of Groton, Dylan Kessler of New Underwood officiating, as are Patrick Krause of Groton, John Latham, former Stanley County Buffalo head coach, now back up at Harding County, but he's out of Camp Crook, Mark Lewis of Sioux Falls, Rob Lewis of Redfield, Zach Metler, Rapid City, Braden Nesis of Sioux Falls, Daniel Noonan of Howard, Bud Postma of Madison, Greg Roach of Brookings, and Steve Rounds of Pierre. Roundsy officiating yet another state tournament. Clark Slykus of T and Mark Stabner of Tyndall are this weekend's mat officials, thanks to our law on the mat for doing what is oftentimes a thankless job in officiating high school sports. They're brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's office as they give us our law on the mat. Hayden Schaefer all this while has been working up top with a 2-0 lead on Tegan Harstad of Brandon Valley. Schaefer already, we can see, is wrestling a defensive-minded Brandon Valley wrestler to start here.
Yeah, their coach has told them the same thing that Coach Lewis has told our kids. We have to get bonus points where we can and eliminate giving them bonus points.
Harstad will come over on the top as we start our second period. Again, it's Harrisburg and Rapid City Stevens battling the other semifinal. Over to our left is Schaefer trying to sit up and spin his way out of the hold. Harstad hanging on for dear life. Hayden spins around but runs out of room. And they'll be out of bounds. So Schaefer coming back at it. And I tell you what, Hayden had a couple of weeks off, just recuperating. But the way he has looked since, the region tournament and then this morning as well, I think that was a well-deserved and a really a good 2 weeks off that he could have had at this time of the year.
Yeah, you don't really want to give guys time off, but sometimes it's needed. Especially in that grind of a season to where you start getting towards the tail end of January and you're kind of body's beat up a little bit and your mind's getting a little bit tired, that break can definitely be an advantage. It can also be a disadvantage at the same time. And so it's obviously he's taking it to the positive.
Schaefer out for an escape. Schaefer takedown for 2. And with 1:10 to go in the second period, Hayden Schaefer up now 5-0. And I think, as we talk about Harstad wrestling defensively, it is really in Hayden Schaefer's best interest to come out here and obviously get a pin if he can, but and we know the nature of the duels, but score as many points as you can because, like you said, Coach Noyes, I mean, these guys, these Governors, really don't have anything to lose. They're not expected to win this duel.
Right. And this is a situation where, in my opinion, you don't want to waste too much time on top. Normally, Hayden's very tough on top, but if he's unable to turn him because he's being so defensive, you're best to just let him go and take him down.
And try to work into something right away.
Yeah.
Talked about these two wrestling earlier today already, and Hayden Schaefer defeated Tegan Harstad 12-0. Major decision in the first round of the individual tournament, but Schaefer is trying to find some way to get something going. And again, he got an early takedown, rode him for the entire rest of the first period, but Harstad doing a good job here, staying cuddled up, so to speak. 5-0 our score. And now Brandon Valley head coach Derek Outland choosing up for Harstad, rather neutral, as they'll start on their feet, but we have a blood timeout in the meantime.
That was a gift, by the way.
Yes. Oh, that they go, it just plays right into what you just said, as they choose neutral.
I mean, the other tactic behind that is, too, if you're not going to, if you can't force them to wrestle on the mat, at least you can force them to wrestle on your feet. And I think there's greater chances of stalling calls up there and possibly getting him to become a little bit more active. And eventually maybe that leads into that cradle that he wants to get to so bad.
Now, if it should happen, with a 5-0 lead, if you do go the way of take him down, cut him loose, take him down, cut him loose, till you get a scoring opportunity, do you maybe, if you don't feel like the pin is going to come, do you really try to extend this and hopefully you add 10 more points to the score and get a technical fall later on? It doesn't seem like Hayden Schaefer's style, but is that an opportunity or an option here?
Well, I mean, his dad's an Iowa fan, I'll tell you that. And if you go the Iowa way, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get those points. So I think he's got a little bit of that mentality in his blood, but yeah, definitely not the way that he wrestles.
Takedown 20 seconds in now with 1:33. They're out of bounds, so Schaefer does lead 7-0, and here he will cut him loose to begin back in the center. So 1 point escape for Tegan Harstad. It's a 6-point match.
In my mind, you make sure you get the major, and once you have that, then you kind of see where things go. You don't worry about burning yourself out in this match and getting real tired, but you just kind of see what opens up.
Hayden with another takedown, his 4th of the match. He leads 9-1. He'll work over the top here as he tries to spin over Tegan Harstad.
He's looking for a cradle here. He's got the crossface. Now he switches off to a butcher.
And really, Harstad's just trying to stay as much in the fetal position as he can. He's on his feet now, though, so he'll get that 1 point escape. Now with 50 seconds to go, as they're out of bounds, and a stalling call to Hayden Schaefer,
who scored 9 points.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's the last thing I would have expected there. Schaefer back in the middle, now stalling to Brandon Valley. Makeup call.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Schaefer going for a leg here. He tried to the right leg. Now comes back to that left leg up in the air. Got the double here, and now Harstad was on his back for a split second, but he is now belly face down. 11-2. Schaefer does have that major decision margin again, even if he does cut him loose again. But now with just 20 seconds, now you're in a situation you're not going to get the technical fall, so see if you can just get him rolled over. But Hayden Schaefer going to get the Governors off to a pretty good start here in this semifinal battle with the Brandon Valley Lynx. 11-2, a major decision. The Governors lead 4-0 off the bat, and we'll take a quick 30-second break. This is Pierre Governors State Tournament Wrestling.
This Governor Sports Moment is being brought to you by the independent insurance team at Fisher Rounds and Associates of Pierre. Zach Hansen and Lane Severin were members of 4 Pierre Governor basketball teams, and they played in more varsity games than any other Governor player in history. They capped off their careers by leading Pierre to its 4th state basketball championship in 2013 and left Pierre as the leading and second leading scorers and rebounders in school history. Zach Hansen and Lane Severin, 2 of Pierre's finest. This Governor Sports Moment has been brought to you by Fisher Rounds and Associates of Pierre.
Back in Rapid City, Tyson Johnson back in his customary 145-pound role as we go to match number 2. Tyson Johnson taking on Caden Langenhorst, the junior for Brandon Valley. Langenhorst has had his moments this year, but coming into the weekend, 16 and 18. Rapid City Stevens and Harrisburg. It looks like Harrisburg with a 3-1 win in the first match of that duel. A win for Logan O'Connor. Logan O'Connor, a freshman, one of the top seeds at 138, will wrestle Hayden Schaefer up here in the quarterfinals tomorrow, which should be a pretty good bout. Meanwhile, Johnson works in a takedown against Caden Langenhorst of Brandon Valley. Now he tries to get him back out of bounds. Langenhorst got to his feet, but Johnson says no. 2-0 Johnson leads. Minute 5 to go. We're in the first period. And I just feel like the Governors in this situation, again, going to be, I don't want to use the word heavy, but I'm going to, heavy favorite in this match. And hopefully Tyson Johnson, for that matter, comes up big for the Governor cause here. But Langenhorst, again, staying bunched up. Now getting onto his feet. Langenhorst got some life on the down here, but Johnson wrestles him back to the mat, top of the circle, over near the Governor bench. And out of bounds they'll go. 29 seconds left, first period, 2-0 Tyson Johnson.
The Brandon Valley kid, I think, understands that he's got nothing to lose here. And I don't know, I haven't looked at the brackets to see if they could see each other tomorrow or not, but here's a situation where he's thinking, I'm gonna throw some things at him and see what I can do and what works and what doesn't work. And really there's not a huge penalty because I know my team will pick me up if I make a big mistake.
Langenhorst did lose his first round match to the Rapid City Stevens wrestler on the mat right now. That is Brian Rosales. And Caden Langenhorst works out a reversal here toward the end of the first period. Johnson trying to get up and get out. 1 second left. I think he got it. But they didn't give it to him. Tyson Johnson, who got a big win at 152 over Tyson Dagan of Mitchell in the first duel. Now battling against Caden Langenhorst. Langenhorst looks like he got a quick start here. And he'll be cautioned for the first time. I'm going to go back to the East-West duels, and when the Governors dueled the Spearfish Spartans, they brought up Trey Lewis to wrestle Oakley Blakeman, one of the top wrestlers for Spearfish. Lewis beats him. Langenhorst, with his 500 record from Brandon Valley, also beat Blakeman. So Caden Langenhorst has some ability here, even though he just doesn't have the record to show for it. Tyson Johnson, quick escape to start the second period, leading 3-2. And now he spins Langenhorst around. Ooh, he got that right foot, just trickled out of bounds. Couldn't keep it in, so no 2 here for Johnson. He'll have to go back and try again, as the officials will confer, but I don't think Tyson was able to keep that right toe in bounds.
You talk about, Langenhorst having some good wins. You can't be in that wrestling room and not get better as the year goes on. So
that Brandon Valley wrestling room.
Correct, yep.
So they'll lock up again, still 3-2, on their feet. Minute and a half to go. We're in the second period. As they work at 145 in the other match, too. From time to time, we'll look in on the Winter Warriors as they battle in the semifinal. Top seed Johnson gets Langenhorst meanwhile thrown down over. Johnson inbounds. Langenhorst is outside the circle, but Tyson Johnson has Caden Langenhorst on his back with a full minute to go here in the second period. Now the Governors would love to see A big old stick here.
Oh, I wish we had instant replay.
That was amazing.
I was looking on my computer. You guys will have to describe that one a little bit to me here.
Pretty similar to what we talked about with Mitchell. We just capitalizing on their aggressiveness, and we just came after him, and he just hip tossed him. Just absolute great headlock.
Langenhorst kicks, and Johnson pushes him further out of bounds. That's a 5-point flurry for Tyson Johnson. 2-point takedown, 3 back points as well, and it's an 8-2 advantage for Tyson Johnson. Looked like Coach Lewis was a little disappointed that Johnson gave up 2 points in that first period, but Tyson comes back with that flurry here. Now tries to lift up and throw down, and a caution.
That's pretty quick.
For stalling.
Yeah, you got to give him time to return, but
6 seconds. I didn't believe that was 6 seconds.
No.
Well, what causes the indication of stalling here is Tyson's got a blood timeout.
Well, I mean, basically, it's not even an attempt anymore. I mean, I guess that's kind of probably not the best term to use, but you basically got 6 seconds to return him. I think some refs will be have a little bit of discrepancy on that as how hard you are attempting to bring him back down to the mat, and are you holding on, whatever case is. But basically, there should be a 6-second call as soon as they get to their feet, and I don't know. I thought that was about 3 or 4 seconds, and that was about it.
Well, Johnson leads 8-2, so warned. First and only warning for a stalling move there. Blood timeout done. 30 seconds to go. Second period. Langenhorst up. Johnson puts him back down quickly, but Langenhorst bridging up again. Tyson Johnson putting all of his center of gravity on that on the hips of Langenhorst. Now Caden Langenhorst trying to find some squirminess here as the seconds tick away. Down to 5 to go, but Tyson Johnson needs to hang on where he's at right now, and he will. So 8-2 will go to the third period. And Johnson will stay in the up position. Langenhorst down. Tyson Johnson, first round win in the dual tournament. He's the 2 seed in the bracket, and I don't mean to look too far ahead, but the 3 seed, Peyton Friedrich of Beersford Alcester Hudson, lost in the first round. Friedrich, one of only 4 people to beat Tyson Johnson all season long this year.
And that's important too for Tyson to, one match at a time.
Yep. But he's got a good one in Robbie Edberg of West Central in the quarters tomorrow. Edberg's only lost 5 matches all season. But here he leads 8-2. Would love to get some things going. And again, I guess we can add to that discussion. Do we start seeing Tyson Johnson cutting Caden Langenhorst loose, see if he can get some more points scored from his feet?
Little difference there, I think, between what we saw at Schaefer and what we're seeing here. I think Schaefer just was getting to their legs a lot easier, again. But obviously, out of that headlock that we saw out of him earlier, definitely wouldn't be out of consideration.
Well, he's trying to get him spun over here, but Langenhorst staying pretty stiff. Now under a minute to go. How about a cradle here for Tyson Johnson? Back points being scored. This will make it a major decision margin at the least. Forget that. It's a pin for Tyson Johnson. In a time of 5 minutes and 16 seconds, big win for the Governors, who lead 10-0 after 2 matches. Let's take 30 seconds and 152 coming up next. This is Governor Wrestling.
Smart grocery shopping takes a little bit of TLC. Lynn's Dakota Mart in Pierre is thrifty, local, and convenient. Shop Lynn's Dakota Mart for the freshest produce, highest quality meats, and delicious bakery items. Shopping Lynn's Dakota Mart is easier because of the spacious aisles. Everything is easy to find. Lynn's Dakota Mart has recently updated their store and takes pride in providing you a clean shopping environment. Lynn's Dakota Mart Good Neighbor Pharmacy offers free delivery and mail out too. Thrifty, local, convenient. Lynn's Dakota Mart in Pierre, your hometown neighborhood market.
And here we come again, back to Rapid City at 152 pounds, and a good start for Deegan Huska, who's having a nice day for the Governors. A 2-point takedown here as he takes on Grayson Bortnam. Noah Bayless actually is the Brandon Valley wrestler. Bortnam wrestled at 152 in their Region 2 tournament, which the Lynx hosted last Saturday, but 2-0 for Deegan Huska. as he works on top. Rapid City Stevens gets a decision at 1:45. Stevens and Harrisburg are tied 3-3. Governors lead Brandon Valley 10-0 now. 2 matches in with 12 to go. Ryan Oakland, John Calda, Ryan Noyes covering the Govs in all of our dual tournament action. The Governors in the semifinals here, so we do know that tomorrow we will have a third place match or a championship match, which is slated for afternoon here. Huska grabs him by the knee and has Bayless shoulders down. Only one down on the mat so far. Here's a move I don't see very often here for Deegan Huska, and just using all of his weight to pull the body backward from that knee, and a good job with 5 seconds plus, 3 back points to Deegan Huska. He's got a 5-0 lead here in the first period with 7 seconds to go.
They call that the banana split. For good reason.
Well, now I'm hungry.
I don't think you want none of that, though.
That's one of the more painful banana splits you'll ever taste, I guess. So we start the second period. Good going for Deegan Huska, and he's got a takedown, or I didn't see if it was if he started down, but he's got a 2-pointer reversal. Now he's going to work on Bayless with a chicken wing. So I'm hungrier again. Bayless gets turned over. And Deegan Huska really playing aggressively here. Stevens gets a pin over Harrisburg at 1:52. They lead 9-3 after 3 matches. Scoreboard's in my way here now on the floor. Huska.
He's got a double chicken wing. He just needs to keep scooting down and try and get that shoulder down.
Minute 15 to go, second period. Another big match here for the Governors. Very important to score as many points in this match as they can.
Good transition.
Oh,
that just got a lot tighter.
As Bayless shifted, looked like Huska had the opportunity. Now a minute to go in the second.
He's got time. Just be patient here. I think just don't rush the issue.
Get them both in.
Yep.
But you don't want to. Pierre, here. Oh, there it is. All right. Pierre fans thought they had it, and I was just going to say it's very important for Huska not to lose this one, but in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, the Governors will get their second in a row, win by fall, their third overall. And on the Wagner Auto scoreboard, it's Pierre 16, Brandon Valley nothing. Wagner Auto Company of Pierre, the one place to go with BS this Saturday, as they come right back for the 160-pound match. And Brandon Valley will bring Isaac Klinkhammer to the stage to take on Jaden Weeby. Weeby back down at the customary 160, but Klinkhammer as good as they come at 160 pounds here for Brandon Valley. We told you, I think right away now, guys, we're seeing why Pierre needed to score as many points as possible in those first 3 matches, because here with Klinkhammer against Jaden Weeby, and we've got an injury timeout to Isaac Klinkhammer.
It almost looked like it was dislocated there.
Oh. Isaac Klinkhammer wears a brace. He is in pain right now. He wears a brace on his right knee. He has dealt with injuries over the years. An undefeated state champion, defeating Lincoln Turman of Pierre back 3 years ago. Turman, of course, was injured himself in that match, and somehow, if that was dislocated, Klinkhammer's had that before, and he would have popped it right back in. Injury timeout may have saved Jaden Weeby a little bit, but now, as they are back and going again, 1 minute, 20 seconds to go, first period. 2-0, Isaac Klinkhammer leading. The Governors lead Brandon Valley 16-0. And again, you like the starting position from Pierre, but Brandon Valley's got to like who they've got closing out in this match. We're looking way ahead now, and we don't need to do that. But again, Governors have to take advantage of every single opportunity they possibly can against the Lynx here.
And this is one of those situations where, like we had earlier with Schaefer, where they were trying to slow down the match. This is what Jaden needs to do as well. I mean, Klinkhammer is number 13 or 16 in the nation, and realistically is not supposed to win this match. So what can he do to keep it tight? What can he do to make it last 6 minutes?
Well, work your way into a stalemate after about 30 or 35 seconds of wrestling. It's one way to do for Jaden Wiebe. Now Klinkhammer is going to come over with the hands on the back. Actually gave Wiebe an opportunity to get out, but Klinkhammer trying to work his own cradle in here, but Wiebe crawls away. Now Klinkhammer just comes in over the top, so good job by Jaden Wiebe. Defensively here, 20 seconds to wrestle, still 2-0. Isaac Klinkhammer leading this match. Klinkhammer working up high, but Wiebe continues to stay balled up, and this is how our first period going to come to an end. 2-0, the Brandon Valley Wrestler leading. And Jaden Wiebe with the choice is going to defer to start the second period.
And that was an absolutely perfect first period for Jaden.
Yes.
Again, just staying in good position, not getting too much in a hurry, and just kind of playing it smart.
Now, let me ask you strategy here. As we start the second period, Wiebe defers. And, of course, he's in the up, Klinkhammer in the down. And in a lot of cases, the casual fan like me might figure, well, what if we don't get to the third period and he gets his choice then? But, so why defer in this case as opposed to maybe taking your choice and doing or trying to run this match the way you want to? As the reversal is completed here for Klinkhammer, he leads 4-0.
I think a lot of times it's just a common thing to do. I mean, sit in a match where, again, you hate to keep calling Wiebe the so-called underdog in this case, but it's just, you get your choice, you just see what he's going to do, and I mean, maybe there's an opportunity towards the end where we do, we're in a chance to get back in the match or a chance to win the match, but
if strategy plays out, that's the key to success anyway.
Yep.
And certainly not me questioning the decisions that are being made down on the mat, just a curiosity.
No, and I mean, you're wrestling kid like Klinkhammer as well. Okay, so you go down, and he's proven that he has a chance to ride you out. We go top, there's a chance again that he's, as we've seen already, pretty quick escape, and I want to say you're just defaulting to what he's doing, but I mean, that's what you're doing.
And coaching styles with, a lot of coaches, they're automatic defers or they're automatic downs or whatever it is that they are. So,
and we do see that with the Governors a lot, not just certainly not with just Jaden Wiebe in this case. Wiebe did get warned for stalling a little while ago. Now he's got 10 seconds left. Klinkhammer almost had him rolled over, but Jaden doing a good job staying belly down again.
Yeah.
And if the first period was perfect, second period wasn't perfect, but it was almost as good as the first period.
I mean, stall call again. I mean, you hate to see stall calls, but that's not a bad time to take one right there.
Yeah.
As long as you're defending, something from a pin, or getting back points and stopping a major, that's something you're willing to do.
And now with Pierre's choice to start the third, they'll be on their feet as Klinkhammer leading 4-0. Here he comes with a shot. Grabbing the back thigh, that right leg of Jaden Wiebe, but he clears out of that. They're locked up, knees on the floor.
If he can get up and tie up a wrist there, I think we can kill a lot more time off that clock, yeah.
Stay away from him here. You don't have to run in and meet him. He is absolutely wrestling a perfect match to this point.
In a defensive strategy, as we've been talking about, 1:20 to go, third period. 4-0 Klinkhammer. And Klinkhammer, whatever injury he suffered in that quick timeout in the first period, he was able to work it out, and he got up and ready to go, but you still kind of wonder if he is affected by that as he breaks free now. Wiebe's the one who is still in the middle of the mat. 1 minute to go, third period.
You got to be thinking in the back of his mind as well. He's looking at tomorrow. He's looking at Saturday night as well. It's like, okay, let's just get out of here with the victory, and let's not put myself in any more danger. And still give my team 3 points on top of it.
Yeah, and if he wants to win the duel, obviously he trusts his teammates, which you can do. The good teams are able to do that. Pierre is able to do that. But still, I would, I think for my personal sake, I prefer to have as much of a lead as you can. And if this match continues, or if this duel continues to go the way Pierre wants it to go, Brandon Valley fans going to start getting a little concerned here.
Yeah, and that 3 points versus 4 points, that 1 point can be a big difference. We've seen in a lot of tight duels.
Yep, for sure.
10 seconds to go. It's 4-0 Klinkhammer. By the way, Brandon Valley, here comes that fireman, and the toss is good for Klinkhammer. Weeby's on his back. Now 2 seconds to go. And, wow, 2 back points. So just like that, a 4-point flurry, and it turns into a major decision for Isaac Klinkhammer. Brandon Valley wins their first match, but they trail the Governors 16-4 as we break for 30 seconds. And we go to 170 next. This is Governor State Tournament Wrestling on KGFX.
He weighs only 22 pounds. He sleeps most of the day, but he has a lot of squeaky toys. And boy, does he like to run. If your new puppy or other addition to your family has turned your starter home from cozy to cramped, it might be time to talk to a member of the First Dakota National Bank's home loan team about the competitive rates on our More Room for the Dog to Run loans. Bank yourself at home with First Dakota, because who knew a puggle could take up so much space? Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back at the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center in Rapid City, we go to match number 5. Couple of Lucases. It's Lucas Slack of Brandon Valley, just 3 losses on the season, taking on the freshman Lucas Chamberlain of the Pierre Governors. Slack, very good season going. The sophomore for the Lynx. He's got Chamberlain on his back here as we are 45 seconds into this first period. Chicken Wing working well. Heard a mat hit, but that was on the other one as Harrisburg beats Rapid City Stevens in a match. But Stevens leads 12-9 over the Tigers in that one. Governors on top 16-4 here at 170. Chamberlain still staying with one shoulder off the mat as Lucas Slack continues to put pressure on that wing of Lucas Chamberlain. Chamberlain did not wrestle in the duel that the Governors defeated Mitchell 38-19, but we'll try to do another defensive job here as Jaden Weeby did a good job of right up until that takedown and 3-second near fall at the end for Isaac Klinkhammer, who turned his victory into a major decision. So Brandon Valley with their first 4 on the board. And Lucas Slack off to a real good start here in period number 1, but Lucas Chamberlain of the Governors staying again defensively. He still has his right arm behind his back. 2 seconds, 1 second, 3 back points will be awarded to Lucas Slack, and he'll go to the second period leading 5-0. Slack was undefeated when the Brandon Valley Lynx came to Pierre in January for the East-West duels. He was unbeaten on the season, but he did pick up a few losses along the way. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but that last week of the season, Brandon Valley did lose a duel to Watertown, 33-32. Things changed a little bit about that time for the Lynx. Their lineup had some changes in it, and now Watertown has lost to Harrisburg in the first round here, but obviously Brandon Valley is beatable.
Yeah, that top end of the ESD this year was actually pretty fun, pretty enjoyable to kind of follow and watch, because obviously Mitchell taking us down, and obviously our duels with Watertown, but then Watertown's duels with Brandon Valley, and just there was, again, coming back down to matchups and just teams that can maybe they're suited a little bit better for other dual teams, and just was pretty fun way to end the season.
Second period's underway, and Lucas Slack had a quick takedown once again. 7-0. He has the lead over Lucas Chamberlain, the freshman for the Governors. 1 minute in and 1 to go in the second period.
Name of the game is survive right now.
Easier said than done sometimes. Checking up on these brackets for the dual tournaments, Class B. Looks like only Canton and Kimball White Lake are going on. I'm Kind of wondering if Winter had another quick duel, and they did. 60-12. They've defeated Redfield area. So Winter over Lyman, 83-0. Now they beat Redfield 60-12. Winter is into the championship tomorrow. And Lucas Slack continues to force that left arm of Lucas Chamberlain behind him into an uncomfortable spot, trying to pull Chamberlain towards him to get him shoulders down. Chamberlain holding his ground in this second period, still going to be 7-0. So we talked about perfect periods in the last match. Jaden Wiebe pitched a couple of those, and I think the second period here for Chamberlain went about as well as you could have hoped for.
Yep.
But he'll take down now. Slack has had no trouble getting him turned over. But again, Lucas Chamberlain forced Slack into a lot of ride time in that second period. Now he'll try to do more of the same here in the third. Coach, I was just going to say, Coach Noyes, you've talked about how difficult it is to wrestle from the down when you have extra weight on top of you, and this is the hope that Chamberlain is able to stay strong throughout this last 2-minute period here.
And these are the baby steps that he's got to take. I mean, you know, he's had, it's been a long year for him. He's a 9th grader at a man's weight class, and just surviving sometimes those are the baby steps you got to take. You know, pretty soon you're surviving against tough kids. Next thing you know, you're within a few points of a tough kid. Then you're beating a kid by, you know, a point or two, and it's just kind of a cycle that you have to that has to kind of run its course. And so for him to survive this match, 7-0 would be fantastic for him against a very good kid from Brandon Valley.
Yeah. 1 minute to go. 7-0. Lucas Slack still leading. Still trying to work on the chicken wing. Well, here's the second stalling call against Lucas Chamberlain, though. And did they add 2 points? It was 7-0. Now 9-0. Or did I miss something earlier?
Was there another stall call in there somewhere?
There was just now, but if there were 2 of them, I don't know. Anyway, 9-0. Now Slack's got Chamberlain turned over. 30 seconds, now 25, still to go, third period. Chamberlain has been in this position before in this match, but how much can he go and how much does he have left in the tank? No, not enough. 5:44, the win by fall for Lucas Slack of Brandon Valley, and he will add 6 to the Lynx cause, who pull back within 6 points at 16-10. 30-second break. We're up to 182 next. This is Governor State Tournament Wrestling.
Avera St. Mary's Hospital and Avera Gettysburg Hospital are hiring. If you've been looking for a job that provides an upward career path paired with excellent wages and benefits, Avera is for you. Positions include certified nursing assistants with a $1,000 sign-on bonus and on-the-job training and certification. Also seeking patient service representative that includes a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Housekeeping positions also available. View positions and details and apply online at averajobs.org. Avera is an equal opportunity affirmative action employer.
Back in Rapid City, Ryan Oakland with the coaches. Ryan Noyes, John Wayne Calda, Primetime Paul sitting in now in the studio, keeping us up and running. We go to 182 pounds as Pierre leads Brandon Valley 16-10. Governors won the first 3 weight classes, including 2 pins. Brandon Valley has come back with a major and a win by fall. And again, it's 16-10. Here at 182, it's Gavin Stotts for the Governors against Dominic Tucker of Brandon Valley. Quick takedown, quick release. And then as Tucker takes Stotts down again, he just got penalized a point, I think, for coming on too hard of a crossface. Looked like he punched Stotts right up the temple. So Stotts gets a 1 point. And then, as they come back and reset again, another escape here for Stotts as Tucker just lets him up. He'd rather work on his feet. Interesting here, Tucker. This is a good wrestler, but right now he's got so much fire and and energy right now. He's almost too aggressive, it seems.
Well, Stotts is he's still learning, but he can throw. So if he wants to put enough pressure on, I'd like to see Stotts, hit the green light and throw him. crazier things have happened.
No. Tucker at 182, where Brandon Valley last year had Damian Shunke, an undefeated state champion, but he was out with an injury all season long. Gavin took a shot, by the way, but Tucker fends that off, and now over near the edge, they're out of bounds. 4-3 our score, kind of a high-scoring first period going both ways. 25 seconds to wrestle in the second period. Quick look in the Class B. We mentioned Winter with a quick victory over Redfield area. Canton leads Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes 39-15, and they are wrestling at the 126-pound class right now with 32 and 38 still to go. Also here in the A gym, Harrisburg, check it, Rapid City Stevens leading Harrisburg 12-9. They are also wrestling at 182 pounds. Here it's Pierce 16-10 over Brandon Valley. First period ends with both wrestlers on their feet, and it's 4-3. Dominic Tucker leading Gavin Stotts. Stotts will take to the down position to start period number 2. I was thinking about Winter over Redfield, and 60-12. That match ended so quickly. I'm not so sure Redfield maybe just got mathematically eliminated. Maybe they just called the rest of the matches. They've got some good kids who can go deep. Of course, Winter has a lot of good kids that can go deep into the individual brackets tomorrow. But here is Gavin Stotts getting out. Got the escape, and we've got a tie match. 4-4 with a minute and a half to go. A lot of time left, second period. Stevens wins a match by injury default at 182. So they're up 18-9 on the Tigers. Stevens over Harrisburg.
We'll go back to what Coach Lee was talking about earlier, and Stotts maybe being able to capitalize a little bit. You know, one thing about Tucker, he come out hard first 30, 45 seconds, and you know sometimes that takes a toll on a big body like that, and you know his offensive, you know, mindset is kind of gone down a little bit.
It really has. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Well, he didn't score as easy as he thought he was going to, so now he's starting to second guess maybe a little bit.
And I don't know, I'm more of a mental guy when it comes to sports, but if you start second guessing yourself, the advantage goes to the other guy, and that other guy in this case could be Gavin Stotts for the Governors. 35 seconds left to go. Still on their feet since Stotts got the escape early in this second period. He'll come in low, trying to grab two legs, but boy, Gavin just doesn't seem to have that reach. Now Tucker comes around and spins for the takedown.
And that's one of those situations where you don't have to be in a hurry to shoot there. You know, just get out of the period tied and see what happens in the third period.
Out of bounds with 11 seconds to go. Second period, but now Stotts trailing 6-4.
He has to get an escape with 11 seconds left to set him up in the third period.
First movement, and he's taken right back down, but that escape is not going to happen. Stotts started this second period down. You expect Tucker now to stay on his knees as the third period will commence. Dominic Tucker leading 6-4.
So you go from a situation in the third period here where if it's tied and he gets an escape, he's down by 1, and a takedown will win it. Well, now he's going to be, if he gives up an escape, he's down by 3, and he's got to get 2 takedowns.
And there's the escape. Tucker able to work his way out of it. Gavin Stotts does not have a takedown in this match. He's got 3 escapes and a penalty point.
He's fine right where he's at. I would stay right there. I wouldn't work my way to the center. I would just wrestle right there for the next minute and a half.
And where he is about halfway between the center circle and the top of the edge of the mat. Now Tucker with a good single leg lift and throw, and he's down. Is Stotts take down Dominic Tucker. A 5-point lead, 9-4 with a minute 15 to go.
Coaches want Tucker to cut him, but he wants nothing to do with that right now.
Now he's looking up, and he's loosening the grip. There's that 1-point escape, back to a 4-point match, 1 minute to wrestle. 4 takedowns so far for Dominic Tucker. Gavin Stotts is locked up with him on their feet, ear to ear.
Gavin's really got to move his feet here.
Moving over to the left side. Tucker doing the pushing. Now he's got the ankle pick and the takedown for 2 more. 11-5. Quick release. Another escape for Stotts. 11-6. I don't think Stotts has been warned for stalling until now. So that is a warning. No point yet. Still a 5-point match. 20 seconds to go. And still a decision margin, which would be beneficial for the Governors here. Even though Brandon Valley is going to win their 3rd straight match. Now Stotts backing off to the middle. Here comes Tucker. Stotts spins out of it, but Stotts got pushed back down. And 3 seconds left. No takedown. Even if they get it, it's still a decision. It ends.
Either way, still underneath the major. So
yeah. It's either 11-6 or 13-6. They will go 2 points. 13-6. Dominic Tucker with the victory. Brandon Valley tacks on 3. Governors still lead 16-13 on the Wagner Auto scoreboard from Wagner Auto in Pierre. The one place to go. BS is this weekend, Saturday. Something worth keeping in mind. We'll go to 195 pounds, which will signal the halfway mark of our semifinal duel. Pierre and Brandon Valley. Jacob Larson for the Governors, 24-10, the senior. He takes on Luke Wickersham, who is 22-10. Wickersham for the Lynx, also a senior. And if there are swing matches, these 2 teams have a lot of Governor favorite matches, a lot of Brandon Valley favorite matches, but the favorites both ways. But if there's a 50-50 match in the lineup, this might be it.
Yeah, this is going to be an important win for the Govs. We need this one, and quite honestly, the way Jacob's wrestling, if he wrestles the way he has been today, he's going to be fine in this match.
40 seconds in so far, and as usual in a Jacob Larson match, both wrestlers are still on their feet here in this first period. Stevens leading Harrisburg 18-9 in the other semifinal. Jacob trying to get a trip up here, but nothing doing yet. Wickersham still on his feet as well. Now both Class B duels are done, so Canton has defeated Kimball Whitelake. It'll be Canton and Winter in the state dual championship for the 2nd year in a row. Canton won that one last year in Sioux Falls. I think Winter, though, a little bit better than they were last year, it just seems. Canton is Canton. Canton is great again this year, but Winter might be, my thinking, closing the gap just a little bit. Wickersham. Jacob trying for a trip, but they'll go out of bounds. Wickersham seemed to be backing off a little bit, and there is a stalling warning against Wickersham for Brandon Valley. 25 seconds to go, first period. Larson, as Stevens gets a win by fall over a Harrisburg opponent at 195. Ryan Brink over Carter Tuntlin. That's 2 and 3 in the individual bracket, if I'm not mistaken. Brink was a state finalist a year ago. Now time out on the first period here. No score yet. Luke Wickersham of Brandon Valley against Jacob Larson of Pierre. Wickersham's choice. He'll go down to start the second period. As we are driven by the Office of Highway Safety, reminding us all, don't text and drive, stay alive. You're listening to Pierre Governor State Tournament Wrestling. Your official voice of the Governors, KGFX 1060 AM, 107.1 FM. KGFX, a member of DRG Media Group. We're live streaming with audio only at drgnews.com, the KGFX page, and also on the all-new DRG News app, which is brought to you by Golden Buffalo. Second period starts with a Wickersham escape. It's 1-0, 30 seconds gone by. And Jacob Larson trailing here. Larson got a last-second takedown to defeat Blake Fredericks of Mitchell in a key battle in that duel. Pierre beat the Colonels 38-19 earlier. If you just missed, or if you're just joining us, Pierre in the first round of the duel tournament, as Larson spun right through, but whiffs on the fireman carry. Governors win 9 of 14 matches in that first round, though. Matches lost at 106, 113, 120, as well as 160 and 170, but won 5 straight in the middle, and then the last 4 weight classes with Stotts and Larson, Bolweg, Taylor, who we'll see coming up here shortly. 30 seconds under, counting down. Jacob Larson still trying to get the hold that he wants with Luke Wickersham, who appears to be a little bit bigger size-wise than Jacob Larson. Now 15 seconds to go. They separated. Back to the middle. Larson probably will look for his opportunity to get a 1-point escape when he starts the third period, but he's got him wrapped up, trying for the takedown at the end. Yes! Jacob Larson with the takedown to close out period number 2. He'll take the lead. The officials will confer, but I don't see Brandon Valley's coach over there questioning anything. I think the officials are just working with the official score, and it is a 2-point takedown. So Jacob Larson timed that perfectly.
Man, he has come up with some big takedowns.
Yes, he really has.
2-1, he has the lead. We start the third.
And Jacob has got some pretty good tools as well. He just needs to have the confidence to use them, and we're seeing that today. And he's picking a great time to bring them out.
Up on his feet, but Wickersham still at him by 1 leg as Jacob will be pushed out of bounds, and Wickersham falls on his right arm or shoulder as they come out of bounds, and he is in pain. Actually, the third period clock is still running for some reason.
No, I think it's injury time.
Well, yeah, but we're not we're not that far down from 5 minutes. It's
no, blood time would be 5 minutes. Injury time is 2 minutes, I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
But I don't even think
I don't think you're still a minute down. I don't disagree. Yeah. I just see the red flashing number, which usually means that's injury time for him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would agree.
So I'm estimating about 20 seconds gone by, really no more than that in this third period. At any rate, Wickersham works it out. He wants to be up now on his feet, so he will yield a 1-point escape. Oh, now they got the clock back. 1:48 counting down. It's where we begin. So third period, Jacob Larson on top by 2. He got the escape that Wickersham ultimately paid the price for with a little bit of pain. Larson had that late takedown. Now he's got the same move, trips him up.
Get the pin.
Yep.
And he's got the wing.
Get your hips back.
Jacob Larson pulling him back. Luke Wickersham. This is not the shoulder I believe that he fell on earlier, but Jacob Larson with a 5-1 lead and back points pending at the very least. There it is, Jacob Larson. 5 minutes, check it, 4 minutes and 49 seconds. A huge win by fall for the Governors, puts us halfway through. The Govs on top, 22-13. CHS Midwest Cooperatives providing halftime entertainment, and we're back in 30 seconds. This is Governor Wrestling.
Health, happiness, and home. Hi, this is Tara Sunshine of Kathy Sunshine Properties. Interest rates continue to be very low. Now is a great time to buy your first home or upgrade to your dream home. The team at Kathy Sunshine Properties can help you meet all your needs. Contact me, Tara Sunshine, at 224-5588 or Tara D at midconetwork.com. I look forward to working with you.
Back in Rapid City as we are underway in another big match opportunity here for the Pierre Governors, who just get a big win for Jacob Larson. 4 minutes and 49 seconds of the win over Luke Wickersham. Pierre on top in this duel, 22-13. And one of the more anticipated matchups of this duel comes up now at 2:20. Reagan Bolweg still unbeaten, 24-0 on the season, taking on Owen Warren, who is 38-3. Warren, the junior, 2 years a Yankton Buck, moving up to Brandon Valley this year. Warren with 3 losses on the season, and 2 of them have been to Bolweg, if not the third. I can't remember if he's wrestled him 3 times or not. But Bolweg got a pin of Warren in the ESD duel in Pierre on January 22nd. And
that'll be tough to duplicate.
Oh, absolutely. And we talked, you and I talked that night about maybe Warren was just trying something a little bit different and seeing if he could figure out a way to beat Reagan Bolweg. In this instance, I think we're going to see obviously more like one of those 3-2, 3-1 matches. So we'll stay patient on this one. Bolweg staying in the middle. Warren dancing around. Warren throws, gets Reagan to the edge. 30 seconds to go here, first period.
This is one of those matches where every stall call, every caution is huge. And so we want to do our part early on. Whenever we get to the edge of the mat, if we can get his rear to the end and shoot through him out of bounds, get the officials thinking we're the aggressor, that's going to definitely come to help us later in the match.
Yeah, and Bolweg here, he gets back in the middle, stays in the middle. It's Warren kind of dancing around here. Here's Reagan with a reach. Call that a shot. And I mean, even right now, good to have your shots because Warren didn't, I think he only got one in there, but if you're not taking shots, that's the quickest way to get a stalling call when everybody spends so much time on their feet. Bolweg starts down here, second period, quickly up, and he is out. They both ended up out of bounds, but no whistle, and we're back into the middle. Bolweg came to the down half. Now he'll get back into the middle. So 1-0, Reagan Bolweg leading.
285-pound match on mat 3.
They go to 285, and Harrisburg and Stevens. Stevens leading Harrisburg 24-12. In the East-West duels, Harrisburg beat Rapid City Stevens. In fact, Stevens lost to Brandon Valley, Harrisburg, and Pierre all in that one day. And they haven't lost a duel before that or since then on the season. Brandon Valley, by the way, 30-2 in duels coming in. A loss to Watertown in the Rapid City Invite early in the season. And the loss to Watertown again in their last duel in the ESD competition.
Both of these guys seem to be content with a 2-1 match here.
Yeah, they're just staring each other down. Warren right now, even if he doesn't get anything here, is going to...
There's a stall.
Most likely just feel like he'll get his escape to start the third period, but a stalling warning to Owen Warren could be big, and Reagan Bolweg will continue to try to be the aggressor here, even if he doesn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. 45 seconds left, second period, Bolweg on top, 1-0.
Reagan just had a shot out of bounds. Now's the time to work your way over there, shoot him out again, and leave that impression in the official's mind.
Locked up, right side of the center circle. Two mats are blue from Rapid City Stevens. Two mats to our left are red from Rapid City Central. Here's that shot to the edge. Warren tries to spin around, but out of room and out of bounds. 13 seconds to go, and you'd like to have one more shot, I'm guessing, at least here in this second period with 13 ticks left.
But be selective with it, too. I mean, Warren's definitely playing defensive right now, and if he can get Reagan extended out, I mean, I think that's kind of his game plan is I'll take a stall call here, I'll take a stall call there, but if I can put him in a bad position on a shot and get a quick 2 on it, might be to his advantage.
Reagan with a couple of half-hearted shot attempts here, but nothing doing. Second period is done. Warren to his knees. In the down position, Bolweg still leading just 1-0. And Reagan, as Owen Warren quickly up on his feet, spins him back down. Now the last time these two guys met, Bolweg was shutting him out. He never did let Owen Warren loose. And then late in the match, Warren made a last-ditch effort and ended up getting pinned, but one of those typical matches, 3-2, in an earlier battle, I believe, at the Rapid City Invite. Bolweg working up high, keeping that left ankle up close to the rest of the body. And we'll just keep watching the clock here as Bolweg works with a 1-0 lead. Minute and a half counting down third period.
Come on. He's got him broke down. Don't let him get off the edge of the mat because I guarantee that's what he's looking for. He wants to try to get a fresh start out of this if he possibly can.
Yep, they're at the top edge of the circle right now.
This would be real bad if we get nailed for stalling. We don't want to give that up, so he's got to make sure he's working here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even right now, with right arm wrapped around, you've got your leg tied up, your right leg with his left leg. How do you get him back in the mat without giving up a lot of well, as it's not going to matter, they're out of bounds now, but you can't just back off and try pulling him back.
No,
I've seen some people be able to do, but that's not the case. It's not that simple with these guys.
You're just trying to maintain. If anything, just don't let him get off the mat. Try to at least ride himself right there in the edge and take out as much time as he possibly can.
So back in the middle, Warren again tried to make that first move, but Bollweg had him by the ankle, and that's a good way to keep him forced forward.
Yeah.
Rather than letting him advance upward, so to speak. Stalling, Bollweg.
He's really got to get off to the side. He's got his hips covered, not allowing Owen to build up. So that was the reason for the stall here.
And if you're Bollweg, I guess you're not really surprised. I'm sure he's well aware of that situation. Here a crawl out of bounds for Warren off of that first move, and Bollweg just pushing him. We are down to 36 seconds left. Bollweg trying to ride out Owen Warren for 2 whole minutes here in this third period. Left arm wrapped around again, and boy, got him lifted up, and I thought in a little bit of midair he was going to get him spun back down, shoulders down. That's not the case yet. But time continues to tick away, and Bollweg has to continue to make plays here, so to speak. 17 seconds left.
Good ride out.
And if you're an official, you don't call stalling right now, right? I mean, with 8 seconds, down to 5. Reagan Bollweg. Owen spins. Oh, Owen Warren out. They're out of bounds, but the back of the official was tapped with a second. Landon Valley wants the escape. The officials are talking about it.
No way.
1 point escape.
No.
Literally, if anything, with a half-second left, and Sean Lewis says, "Come here and talk to me."
No.
Over to the table.
It's that same situation we talked about last year with Johnson. We've seen it again today. It's got to be a consistent call.
Yeah,
It's actually the secondary official who came in and overruled the lead official in this match, who had ruled time up. He got his back tapped. But Sean Lewis, he's going to be hot if he doesn't get this one, and it looks like that's the case. We're going to overtime.
I disagree.
Yeah, me too.
And Sean Lewis gives Reagan Bollweg a slap on the backside and says, "You just go get him yourself." So 1-1 overtime, 1 minute period here. Sudden death, sudden victory. If somebody scores first, no matter how, that's your winner. 50 seconds left, they're locked up, bottom half of the circle. Bollweg comes after him, now Warren goes after him as Bollweg spins out of bounds. They're back to the middle coming with 44 seconds left. The crowd, not a big one, but certainly a loud one. Governors across the way, Brandon Valley fans are more down below us. 35 seconds to go, and a 1-1 tie, sudden victory here.
Take another shot.
One of the Pierre wrestlers just put a fist up. He wanted stalling. Here's Bollweg coming back. Oh, Bollweg on his knees. Now Warren gets under the legs, but out of bounds they'll go again.
Stay in position, stay in position, stay in position.
This is where you cannot let your emotions get to you. You got to finish the match.
Yeah, Bollweg really went after him once, but he almost slipped out. And almost gave Owen Warren the opening he needed. 19 seconds. Bollweg slips through again. Comes in low again. Makes another shot. Pierre bench wants another stalling call. Both wrestlers, by the way, do have one stalling called against them.
Here's a situation where we are in much better shape going into sudden death. We are better on top. We're better from down. So be patient here. Don't give up a takedown with 5 seconds left.
Now you're talking about going to second overtime. 5 seconds now. Bollweg reaches. Out of bounds again. Travis Heasley telling the Governor bench to stay calm here, guys. Don't get out of control. 4 seconds to go. Does either wrestler make a move? Bollweg comes after him. And for a minute, as the first overtime period comes to an end, and I'll be honest, my biased opinion, all I saw was Warren backing off and Reagan Bollweg
attacking,
coming forward.
Yeah.
And Reagan Bollweg doing all the work.
Yes.
I mean, and that's kind of the part you look at here going on, and I agree with Coach on the conditioning, everything going on, but, you take a look, there was a minute that Owen Warren was able to kind of sit back and let him.
So now a situation here as we go to second overtime. The flip of the token came up red. Owen Warren's choice. He first went down, but then the coaches were saying, we want to defer. All right, so Bollweg takes the down position here. Now you get a 30-second period. Both wrestlers will get opportunities, and Bollweg quickly out. The 30 seconds will commence and continue. They'll go the full 30. No matter what happens here, unless one wrestler gets a pin, we will have another 30-second period with Warren having his choice. Here's Bollweg. There's a stalling call. 1 point to Bollweg. And that goes back to what we talked about in the full 1 minute sudden victory period. Bollweg attacks, Warren backs off. Reagan up by 2 now. Here's Warren taking a shot. Bollweg rolls him over. Out of bounds, but Reagan Bollweg leading 5-1 now here with 1 second left in our first 30-second second overtime period. Bollweg will be in control. What a throw by Reagan Bollweg, and what a time for it. 1 second ticks away. Now it'll be Owen Warren's turn, and he will stay in that down position. 30 seconds more to go, and Bollweg just needs to hang on to his 5-1 lead.
And this is, in my opinion, crazy for Owen Warren.
Absolutely.
To me, he should have been on the feet here.
Just got rolled out for 2 minutes in the third period, and you're going to go down by 4. Great for us.
Yeah, Reagan Bollweg, after a while, he can just cut him loose, and then they'll spend more time on their feet again. 16 seconds. Bollweg wrestles him back again.
Yeah, he's going to make another statement here where he's just not going to allow another point.
Bollweg, he just turns over, looks at the time. 3-2-1, 5-1 overtime. Reagan Bollweg defeats Owen Warren of the Brandon Valley Lynx for the third time this season. Governors lead the duel 25-13. We go to heavyweight next after a 30-second timeout. This is Governors State Tournament Wrestling.
Breaking news has heard through all the local and national media. A blizzard is upon us coming February 27th. We want to prepare you for all the great deals available in Central South Dakota. Prices will be slashed and deals will be made. This is no fake news here, folks. This is the real deal. This is the 44th annual blizzard sale going on at Wagner Auto Company, Central South Dakota's oldest auto dealer. A free car will be given away and door prizes all day long. Be on the lookout through all the media sources for special pricing on all vehicles. 44th annual blizzard sale, Wagner Auto, Pierre, South Dakota.
Now back at Rapid City in the heavyweight match underway, 285. It's Preston Taylor, the senior, for the Governors against Navarro Shunke, the standout freshman for Brandon Valley. Taylor got a quick trip up as he got Navarro down on the match, but they ended up out of bounds without a takedown. Actually, I take that back. Shunke actually did get a takedown, overtaking Taylor and kind of turning Preston's move against him. So Navarro Shunke has a 2-0 lead as we're underway at 285 pounds. 25-13 the lead for the Governors, leading Brandon Valley, and Preston Taylor getting rolled here for a couple of seconds. 2 back points is enough. Shunke now leads 4-0 as Taylor. There aren't many guys in this state that are proving themselves to be better than Preston Taylor, but Taylor did lose to Bo Foote of Mitchell in the first duel of the night. Navarro Shunke is undefeated, 41-0 on the season. Taylor did have a third period lead on Shunke early in the season of the Rapid City Invite, though, in the Governor's first dual loss of the season against the Lynx. Shunke trying to inflict the pain on Taylor, who stays flat on his belly. 24 seconds to go first period, 4-0 Shunky leading. Rapid City Stevens, by the way, leads Harrisburg 27-12. They're at 106 pounds now, so they are one match ahead of us here. McCook Central, nope, their first round actually escapes me, but they defeated Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes in that second round. Yeah, I think they might have beat McCook Central Montrose. Doesn't really matter. Second period underway, or about to be. 4-0. Shunky leading Taylor. Taylor ready to go. Down. Coach, you wanted to see him on his feet, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, that was their choice to take top. So.
Oh.
And if I'm Brandon Valley, I would have done the same thing.
Yep. So. And Shunky's got a arm through the leg. Trying for a cradle here. Preston Taylor balling up right in the middle of the mat.
He's got to sneak his left arm out, but
there it is.
Happen.
Taylor for cradle for Shunky rather. Taylor rocked back and forth. 3 seconds is all he'll get. 2 points. Now 6-0.
The longer this match goes, the more it favors us. But we just got to we got to stay off our back. Can't win from there.
And Taylor caught in the cradle again. The win by fall for Navarro Shunky is a big win, and Preston Taylor suddenly a little slow in getting up. The time in this one, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Brandon Valley gets a much-needed win as they'll cut a 12-point deficit in half to 25-19. Scoreboard from Wagner Auto Company and Pierre, the one place to go as we turn the lineup over now to 106 pounds with 5 matches left. The Governors in a 6-point advantage. Brandon Valley's got a lot of quality coming up. Of course, the Governors do too, but here's Lincoln Schoenhardt against Hayden McGuire.
A pin here would be huge.
Absolutely. Schoenhardt going right at McGuire as a 2-point takedown. Lincoln Schoenhardt with a huge win to clinch the duel over Mitchell. With 3 matches to go in that one. Now we've got a blood timeout here for the Brandon Valley wrestler. And guys, this is Hayden McGuire, and Brandon Valley lost a little bit when they lost one of their wrestlers, I believe, to disciplinary action, but Xander Nielsen, who was doing very well, the 7th grader, for Brandon Valley all season long, but now McGuire steps in to take his place. McGuire placed in the region. But here 2-0 with blood timeout to Brandon Valley. Whether the Govs wrestle for 3rd place or the championship tomorrow, we'll have it for you. Second session starts at 4:30 Central Time. That'll be the semifinal matches, I believe, in the individual bracket. But then after that round of individual wrestling, we will have the championship and 3rd place matches of the state dual tournament, which we're guessing will be at about 6 or 6:30 tomorrow night right here on KGFX. Of course, continued reports throughout the day starting at 11 o'clock Central Time with the quarterfinals and the first round wrestlebacks going first. Lincoln Schoenhardt working against Hayden McGuire. And after a reset, minute 5 to go, first period, McGuire's got his position spun out. Now a 1-point escape. So Schoenhardt had to let him free. Got a minute to go in this one. In the first period, Schoenhardt comes right back, takes another shot. He had an early takedown. He's looking for another quick one here. Nothing happening yet. Jack Schoenhardt, one of the standouts for Rapid City Stevens. It's a pin in the Harrisburg duel now. Boy, Stevens leading Harrisburg 36-12. Here's Schoenhardt. He's got something working.
Keep the elbow.
Takedown for 2. 4-0 Schoenhardt. 4-1 rather. 20 seconds to go. Think about Rapid City Stevens. When they came to the East-West, they did not have their best lineup in action, and they lost 3 duels, including one to Pierre, one to Harrisburg as well, but they look full strength tonight. Schoenhardt, he's got McGuire. rolling over here. Time runs out on the first period, though, and a good first period start for Lincoln Schoenhardt. They'll give him 3 back points, and Lincoln Schoenhardt leads 7-1. He'll defer. Second period, Brandon Valley will stay on their feet as Hayden McGuire chooses neutral. Good first period. Here comes Schoenhardt. Wants to go right back to work to start this second period. Hayden McGuire flattened out. Now McGuire spinning around, and he's got an opportunity here, but Schoenhardt still has a leg, so no control gained by either wrestler yet, even though McGuire is the one on top for the most part.
Swim the body, get that right arm out, swim the waist, keep that leg elevated.
Now Schoenhardt in a better spot to get a takedown if he gets the right position. There it is, as Coach Caldas talking about. 9-1, the advantage to Schoenhardt. Minute 15 to go. Second period.
Go ahead and get stalemate there if you need to.
There it is. So they'll go back and reset. It's easy for us to look ahead to the matches that still remain, and of course I think we feel Brandon Valley is going to be the favored wrestler in probably the last 4 matches, including Blake Judson and Trayson Omi at 26, Kaylor Heinman and Alex Mincer at 132 will be our final match of the night. 2-point reversal. Hayden McGuire as he cuts a 9-1 deficit down to 6. It's 9-3. Lincoln Schoenhardt still in front. 35 seconds to go. We're in the second period. And McGuire trying to muscle Lincoln Schoenhardt over. Hayden McGuire is a junior for Brandon Valley. And he's got a second blood timeout coming here with 26 seconds to go in our second period. Stevens leading Harrisburg now 42-12. Let's take a quick 30-second break here at 1:06. We're back with more Governor State Tournament Wrestling.
The staff at Dakota Prairie Bank is proud to support our young athletes. This time of year isn't just busy for them, but for moms, dads, and other sports fans as well. So when you're on the go, Dakota Prairie Bank provides services that make banking simpler for you, like their online banking. It's quick and convenient.
Back in Rapid City, just coming out of a blood timeout for the Brandon Valley wrestler. We're at 106 pounds. Lincoln Schoenhardt continuing to look good after he got thrown onto the side of his head in the first round of the individual bracket tournament this morning, but he got a huge win against Spencer Aldine of Mitchell, a young man who'd beaten him twice in the last 2 weeks. But Schoenhardt shut him out 9-0, now working with a 9-3 lead on Hayden McGuire here of Brandon Valley. That's how our second period now will come to an end. We'll go to the third. Governors, again, the underdog here against the Lynx, and as we were just talking about, will be underdogs in the last 4 matches, so they need this one as much as they can get. But here's a reversal again for Hayden McGuire. That one looked a little too easy, and now you start wondering if Schoenhardt's got only a quarter or an eighth of a tank of gas left here.
Biggest thing here is he's got to keep his hands out front. I mean, he's coming for the wings hard, and he's driving hard on it. If he can somehow just keep his hands out front, try to get back to that base and get his head up.
So with that reversal, it's now 9-5. Schoenhardt's still leading, but he had a 9-1 lead not too long ago. McGuire trying to figure out his best tactic of approach here. Wrestles Schoenhardt back to the mat. Again, the Governors lead the duel, but only by 6. Here's a stalling warning to Lincoln Schoenhardt of the Governors.
Just tried to stand up 10 seconds ago.
Now he stands up again, and a good job by McGuire to bring him right back. to the mat. 50 seconds to play. Third period. And McGuire still working up top. It's just like Hayden McGuire's really not sure what to do with Lincoln Schoenhardt here, though. Doesn't know what the best approach is. 30 seconds to go. Still would like to see Schoenhardt get out of this thing, though. Up on his feet, but put back to the mat. Still 20 seconds to go. Right in the center of the mat. Plenty of room to work with. Down to 10 seconds. Lincoln Schoenhardt looks like he'll get a victory, but not the big extra point victory that the Governors were hoping for. In fact, he got warned for stalling again, and that'll be another point to McGuire, but Lincoln Schoenhardt will win at 106 by the score of 9-6. The Governors up the lead to 28-19, but dicey situations come as we go to a 113-pound match next. The winner on to the state dual championship, and we're already underway. Noah Williams at 113 pounds, 25-9 on the season for the Governors. The junior against Jacob Wolf. He is a sophomore for Brandon Valley, 15-1. And I don't know what the Governors know about this guy, but he did not wrestle in the duel on January 22nd when Brandon Valley came to the capital city. But here's Noah Williams grabbing a couple of legs, and he gets a 2-point takedown. So good start here for Williams. Wolf up on his feet. They'll run him out of bounds, though, and they'll be back to the middle. Wolf obviously 13-1, but what do we know about this guy?
Well, obviously, only having one loss, he's found a way to win. Mm-hmm. This is, to me, this is a must-win for the Govs. If we want to be in this duel, we have to have this match.
So 2-0, Williams with the start. Noah Williams got a good win by fall over Caleb Hubbard of Mitchell. Williams off to a slow start in the bracket dual tournament, though. I think he'd really like to do what he can to make amends here. There have been some fireworks in this one. Governors winning a good share of the matches here, but Brandon Valley has 3 matches after this one, and again, we consider them the favorites in this one, but as Wolf spins up and out, did he get an escape on that? No. Okay, I thought I saw 1 point up in the air, and then Williams got him right back, so nothing doing there. It's still 2-0 with 40 seconds to go, first period.
Here's a situation, too. I think you on top, you try to maintain. Obviously we want to try to get back points where we can, but you're also in position here. If we can ride him out, not give him anything here, we go into that second period up 2-0. I think we're in a pretty good position.
I agree. It's all about position, like you just said. If we're behind his arms, we're in good shape. The second we start reaching over the top, that's when we get into trouble.
Yep, nothing wrong with sitting out here for about 10 seconds here and letting the period just run out.
Trying to come through the legs here with 10 seconds to go. You guys are always looking ahead in a match. I can look ahead in a duel, but you guys are looking ahead in a match. And now Wolf gets out with 5 seconds to go. 3-2-1, first period over. And Noah Williams still has the lead, but it's now 2-1 as Jacob Wolf will defer his choice, and Noah Williams will take to the down for the first time in this match. Stevens will beat Harrisburg. Rapid City Stevens will be in the state championship duel for the second year in a row. Last year they won that by beating Watertown. Williams up on his feet, is out, has the escape. He leads 3-1 as he's trying to get back low for another shot, but now they'll separate again. Stevens and Harrisburg wrestled it out. Even though Stevens was mathematically the winner of that duel quite a while ago. And Rapid City Stevens, I think they have one match still to go at 132. They just finished 126. Noah Williams continues 3-1. 105 to go against a pretty good wrestler in Jacob Wolf, and Williams has him rolled over. Headlock in the Brandon Valley wrestler on his back. 55 seconds to go. Looks like Wolf got his way out of that. Williams still has him by the wing though. Current lead is 5-1. Back points pending.
He's got the country boy hooked up. It's over.
Done. Get him locked in.
Done.
Arch.
30 seconds.
There's no
30 seconds. There it is! And a huge win for Noah Williams. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, the win over Jacob Wolf. The Governors get that win they desperately needed. We'll see how it plays out. They lead 34-19. Quick 30-second break, and we're back for 120. This is Governors State Tournament Wrestling.
Local businesses are what shape a community, and BJ's Food Center in Kennebec takes pride in providing the Kennebec area everything you could want from a local grocery store. Fresh produce, hand-cut meats, snacks, and weekly specials throughout the store. Plus, great customer service with a friendly staff to help you find whatever you're looking for. Everybody at BJ's Food Center wishes the Lyman Raiders best of luck in their competition and supports the Raiders in all of their school activities and athletics.
Back in Rapid City, we were just talking about the importance of the 113-pound match. It could not have gone any better for the Pierre Governors as Noah Williams gets a win in 3.5 minutes by fall over Jacob Wolf, who suffers just his second loss of the season. Now at 120, twin brother Nate Williams on the mat as he battles against Jordan Omi. Omi, 30-4 on the season, the junior. So you've got the Williams twins for the Governors. Now you come up with the Omi twins for Brandon Valley. Trace and Omi coming up against Blake Judson in the next match after this. But let's do some math real quick. We're still neutral, a minute into the 120-pound match. Governors lead by 15. Brandon Valley has the possibility of 18 points to go if they get wins by pin in all three of these matches, including the one we're on right now. And I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. It is a very good possibility, but I think the Governors kind of like what they've got coming up, at least at 126 with Blake Judson, who has done a pretty good job against Trace and Omi this season. We'll think about that later now. I just wanted to put that out there. 35 seconds to go. Williams going against Jordan Omi.
Williams really wants to slow this. Ooh. How is that not a slam?
2-point takedown, and he just...
Wow.
Williams landed on his shoulder and the side of his face, and he still is... Well, he's not showing any effects like Lincoln Schonard did this morning, like Blake Judson did in the region last week, but I think Omi got him up in the air and just flat out lost control of him, and he dropped him. So tough break there for Nate Williams, a 2-0 takedown. Now our first period comes to an end. You know, and as we're sitting here doing the wrestling math, even if Nate Williams stays off of his back for a good chunk of this match and does not yield bonus points, the Governors will be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, you want to keep this as low scoring as possible.
However, Williams slipped. Omi takes advantage, reversal, and now Williams is on his back as Brandon Valley's trying to get that pin back that the Governors just got at 113. Here at 120, a lot of time to go. Omi staying tight on Nate Williams. Williams trying to bridge up. He's close to the edge, but he won't get there. That's a win by fall in 2:31. For Jordan Omi, and Brandon Valley counters. It is 34-25. Next match is the one that'll tell the tale. As we go to 126 pounds, the score on the Wagner Auto scoreboard. Again, the Governors 34, the Lynx 25. Wagner Auto up here, the one place to go. VS coming this weekend. Stay ready for that. So here's the match that could decide the Governors' fate in this semifinal duel. Blake Judson at 126 pounds. The junior, 27-4 on the season. Let's make that technically it's 26-5. As he yielded a forfeit in his Mitchell match, as did Nate Williams in the first duel of the night, as he takes on Trayson Omi, the undefeated Lynx sophomore. Trayson, 24-0 on the season, coming after Blake Judson. Blake, middle of the mat, back up on his feet with 1:15 to go, first period. These two have wrestled a couple of real close matches this year. Judson almost had him in the Rapid City invite in that dual tournament of that event. And I think it was about I want to say 4-0 win for Omi in the duel when Brandon Valley came to Pierre in the ESD matchup.
You know, you kind of shifting tactics here a little bit in the last couple of matches, because now, I mean, not that you want to play defensive by any means, but now you got to start thinking of, you know, the team victory. And so you got to put yourself in positions to where you're not going to be, you know, getting put on your back. Obviously, we want to win if we can win, but again, make sure that you're smart in wrestling, staying in position the whole time you're doing it.
Now, Trayson Omi just got a pick of the ankle and then a throw and a takedown. So he'll take a 2-0 lead, but more importantly right now, Blake Judson is not feeling very good in his left knee. And if I'm to speculate on this one, guys, I don't know. It almost looked like Blake might have landed on that knee that Trayson Omi was trying to force the ankle forward, so maybe a hyperextension here or something like that. But
Blake's got a pretty good pain tolerance, so that's what worries me. He's still on the mat.
Casey Michelson out there, Governor Trainer. Again, working on the left knee here, and boy, this is not. This is the last thing the Governors need right now. Here comes Blake, up, on his feet. They got it worked out. He'll be trailing 2-0. This is the only match going on right now. We still have a 132-pound bout coming up. Kaylor Heinman and Alex Menser. Waiting for the clock to get ready and get back to first period timing. Time clock does say 29 seconds. I think that's about how much time is left in this first. But that green number still blinking. And the official's going to wait for that.
Yeah, that
to
clock
be corrected.
That clock will readjust. As soon as they start, it'll come off injury time and go back into normal time.
That's what they're saying. Green number still blinking. Okay, now 48 seconds, so you're right. But anyway, as Blake Judson working from underneath. Got taken down, shaking off a barking dog in the left knee now. Big match for the Governors. Looking at Brandon Valley, Watertown, Rapid City Stevens with good days. And now we've got a timeout here for an injury for Trayson Omi as he grabs hold of his right knee. Didn't really see what would have happened there, but he's got hardware on the knee, so he's felt the burn there before. Very interesting here. I'll tell you what. I mean, you don't expect this match to be a 2-point bonus for either team, but an injury default would be just that.
Yeah.
Of course, we're assuming if there's going to be a 2-point bonus, it's going to be a pin for either team. But this is.
If I'm a Brandon Valley coach, there's no way. I don't care what significance this match is. There's no way, if I'm even remotely questioning if he's healthy or not, that he's wrestling this. He's got to save himself for the individual tournament.
Yeah. All right, they'll cut time here. And Omi is ready to go again. Yeah, and I mean, the dual tournament is a big deal. I mean, especially with the duels kind of coming back into prominence in high school wrestling, especially this year with the changing of the schedules. Thank you, COVID. But it certainly isn't the bigger I don't know, the bigger package to win, so to speak, this weekend.
Nobody's gonna say who won the dual tournament in 20.
Yeah.
You know.
No. Yeah, it'll be there for looking up on the High School Activities Association website, but yeah, everybody's got plenty of hardware in their cases, but still, I mean, I think it would be a bigger deal for the Governors to say, hey, we beat Brandon Valley, who was the team to beat all season long, but and again, not to get ahead of ourselves, we're underway, second period. Still 2-0. Trace and Omi leading Blake Judson. Both wrestlers have had to have timeouts due to injury in that first period. So the first period lasted quite a while. Second period underway, 30 seconds in.
No tilts.
Judson was in the down. No tilts. Stay off your shoulders if you're Blake Judson. Oh, my goodness. What is that? Omi picks Judson up, tosses him down hard again, but legal this time. I'm thinking that looked more WWE to me.
That was with authority.
And nobody's really, nobody down there is really complaining about it, I guess, but that was not an easy letdown at all. Judson's still going.
In those situations, he's got to remember to hook his foot. When you go to get lifted up, if you can hook your foot on his leg, that prevents him from
lifting you up higher and higher, yeah. 35 seconds to go, second period. Just a lot of ride time here for Trace and Omi on top of Blake Judson. So Judson in the down, but unable to get out. Omi taking his time, coming back to the middle after traveling out of bounds. A reset coming, left arm wrapped around. Spins him back around. Judson.
When you get returned the way that he did, it makes you question how bad you want to stand up again.
Yeah. The effectiveness in the Brandon Valley's sake in this case, I guess. But 34-25, Governors lead the duel. 5 seconds to go in this second period. Blake Judson will not score, but still trails just 2-0. The Governors have won 6. Let's check that. 7 matches so far. Brandon Valley has won 5. We're working on match number 13 here. Omi able to bridge his way up, and Judson on top with his feet off the floor. Potentially dangerous considered, and we're back to the bottom. Judson comes around with a left hand. And now up on his feet goes Trace and Omi again. He'll break free in a 1-point escape. Not the worst thing in the world right now. 3-0 lead for Omi. Judson reaches for the right leg. Can't get to it. Still locked up. One knee down for Omi. Judson trying to work with some leverage. They'll push each other away again. Judson approaching. Trace and Omi with that Owen Warren mop on the top of his head. It's almost like a style for Brandon Valley, maybe.
Right.
It's what Owen Warren brought from Yankton this year. 1 minute in, 1 to go, third period. Omi leading 3-0 as he gets up and gets around. Judson will wrestle him to the mat. Omi wrestles Judson to the mat. 2-point takedown as they're out of bounds. Now 5-0 the lead for Trace and Omi. And Omi's going to put hands on back instead of coming around the conventional way.
Judson's got to look away on the start, not turn back into him. Scary.
It's a 1-point escape. Omi's going after more takedowns here, and Judson's trying to get him spun around, but they're out of bounds. Nothing happening there. Will be neutral. Back at center mat. 41 seconds to go. 5-1. Brandon Valley leading this match, 34-25. The Governors lead the duel. This match plus one more to go. And we could conceivably end in a tie when 14 matches are done. And criteria will have to be considered, but that won't be the case unless Blake Judson keeps this one at worst at a decision margin right now. Adjusting headgear. Blake's got a leg here. 14 seconds. Can he get him spun over?
Sink the hips, yep.
And you're just saying just stay where you're at, and you're fine. 5-1. Omi is going to win this one by decision, and we've got an interesting situation ourselves. 3 points for the Lynx. They're within 6. The Governors lead 34-28. We've got one match to go in 30 seconds. This is Governors State Tournament Wrestling.
Great Western Bank in Chamberlain reminds you of their totally free checking with no minimum balance required. No service charges, a free ATM debit card, free online banking, plus more. Also at Great Western Bank, they offer free check imaging, where you can receive copies of all your canceled checks or view them online. Great Western Bank, 101 East King in Chamberlain, making life great. Member FDIC.
All right, here it is, the final match of the night in the semifinal round of the state dual tournament. The Pierre Governors leading Brandon Valley 34-28, looking to pull an upset, but one match left to go. At 132 pounds, it's Kaylor Heinman, the senior for the Governors, 28-8 against Alex Mincer, the junior for Brandon Valley. Mincer gets the first throw. He's got Heinman on his back and a pin to Alex Mincer in 39 seconds. Which sets up the situation of a tie, and we go to criteria. Brandon Valley with 7 wins. The Governors with 7 wins. Pierre won the first 3 of this duel. Brandon Valley got the next 3. The Governors had 2 pins in there. Brandon Valley with 1 in the first 6 matches. Governors get a pin from Jacob Larson. Navarro Shunke counters for Brandon Valley, but then Noah Williams got a pin for Pierre. Now Alex Mincer with a pin. Guys, I've got Pierre with 1 more pin, if that matters. What's the criteria here?
There's so many, I don't know.
I mean, the first is most wins. Now it's 7-7.
I think unsportsmanlike conducts come in there early, too. I'm just not sure where they come in at.
And pins, I think, is next.
Most pins. And again, so let me take another look here. You've got Tyson Johnson, Deegan Huska, Jacob Larson with wins by fall, Noah Williams with a win by fall. 4 pins for the Governors. And then Lucas Slack at 170 for Brandon Valley, Navarro Shunke at heavyweight, and Alex Mincer. Nope, Jordan Omi gets 1 too. So yeah, we've got 4 pins per team. So now, at some point there, I know it's a ways down, but you start looking at scoring first. Who scores first in these matches? Or first takedowns?
Yeah.
And the officials are discussing. My goodness. This stupid game. Let's get Trey Lewis out there and get a JV wrestler at 145 for Brandon Valley. I don't know. Let's go match 15. So, criteria is what it boils down to. You know, and you may have to, and if you're checking that out, I guess they've got an official score. You're not really looking at books that your student managers are keeping anymore or anything like that. So, this is very, very interesting. Here comes the PA announcement.
There was an unsportsmanlike conduct.
I'm Brandon Valley.
Brandon Valley. So Pierre will win.
Wow, the Governors win as Brandon Valley had an unsportsmanlike conduct infraction somewhere along the way. Do we know when that was?
I can't remember when it was. I was watching the Pierre coaching staff this whole time, and they were bringing that up. I'm pretty sure that's one of the first 1 or 2 criterias right off the bat.
So the Governors defeat Brandon Valley on criteria Due to and you mentioned it. One of you guys said it, unsportsmanlike, so you knew it. I didn't even realize that it happened earlier.
Yep.
Did it count against the match that was going on at the time, or was it just a warning?
It was
a penalty point.
He come down with the crossface against Stotts.
That's right. Yep, it was the hot shot crossface.
Yep.
That was Dominic Tucker against Gavin Stotts. Very, very interesting. How about the Pierre Governors knocking off Brandon Valley 34-34, but winning on criteria? It'll be the Governors against Rapid City Stevens in the state dual championship tomorrow here on KGFX.
We'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
So let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back and recap. We've got a Bauman Lumber player of the game coming up. We'll talk to the coaches about how tomorrow looks, both individually and as a team. And boy, some good things going on here for the Pierre Governors on this first day of the state wrestling tournament. 2-minute break in our postgame coming up. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling on the state tournament on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
Now, we don't have to tell you that farming gets more complicated every year, but what we can do is bring you Allegiant seed from CHS Midwest Cooperative. Allegiant brings you leading traits that fits your farm plan perfectly. These are proven farm solutions made simple. And because Allegiant comes from a trusted team that knows your land, choosing Allegiant seed might just be the simplest decision you make all season. For more information on Allegiant seed, contact your local CHS Midwest Cooperative today.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino, from the App Store or Google Play. It only takes a moment, so you'll have it to replay this game. See live and archived video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app, brought to you by the Golden Buffalo Casino. Download it now at the App Store or Google Play.
Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it. It's the kind of pride that you feel inside, the spirit of our hometown. Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it.
Hometown spirit, nothing else comes near it. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, proud to be your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a reason they call it Champs Chicken. It knocks out the competition hands down. Cowboys Country Store is home to Champs Chicken. Buy the piece, buy the bucket, add some delicious sides. Great for on the go. Cowboys Country Store on Harrison and in Fort Pierce serves breakfast starting at 5 a.m. Right now, get 2 sausage, ham, or bacon breakfast sandwiches for just $5. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboys Country Store in Pierre and Fort Pierre.
Welcome back to the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center, the Ice Arena. Brian Oakland with Coaches Noyes and Calda, as we are driven by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, reminding us to buckle up and stay alive. This is Pierre Governor State Championship Tournament Wrestling. Actually, State Championship Tournament Wrestling will come up tomorrow. This is Governor Wrestling on your official voice of the Governors, 1060 KGFX AM, 107.1 FM KGFX, a member of DRG Media Group, and online too, live streaming at drgnews.com. 7 matches won by Pierre, 7 by Brandon Valley. In the end, it's 34-34. We go to criteria, and Coach Calda calls it an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty point called against one of the Brandon Valley wrestlers, which happened to be in the 182-pound match, about 6 matches into this one. And who'd have thought that would be the reason the Governors come up and punch their ticket into the state championship match with that first criterium. So again, as we recap this one, Hayden Schaefer gets Pierre off to a good start with a major decision win over Tegan Harstad. It's 11-2 in that one. Tyson Johnson, a win by fall at 145 over Caden Langenhorst in 5-16, makes it 10-0. Then Deegan Huska pins Noah Bayless in 3-10 to make it 16-0. A lot of wrestling to go, of course, as we were well aware, but Isaac Klinkhammer comes out. Wasn't really apparently looking for a pin. Just takes an 8-0 major decision, and an interesting one at that, is that's how it that just happened right at the very end of the match with a 4-point flurry to get a major to make it 16-4, Brandon Valley's first score in the duel. Lucas Slack then gets a win by fall in 5 minutes and 44 seconds over Lucas Chamberlain, who fought so hard all match long to just stay off of his back, but couldn't quite hang on for that last 16 seconds. The Governors led 16-10 at the end of 170. Then Dominic Tucker defeating Gavin Stotts 13-6 for a decision to make it 16-13, but it was in that match where that penalty point occurred against Brandon Valley for an unsportsmanlike situation. Then Jacob Larson comes up with a big win. 195, he defeats Luke Wickersham in 4 minutes and 49 seconds. That made it 22-13. Reagan Bolweg went sudden victory overtime. Then they went to double overtime with Owen Warren. Controversial whether it should have gone overtime to begin with, but Bolweg with a 4-point flurry in his 32nd period. Getting out, and he gets a 4-point flurry there, made it 5-1. He rides Warren out for 30 seconds. The Governors led 25-13. Then Navarro Shunke with a win by fall over Preston Taylor, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. That cut the lead to 25-19. Lincoln Schonard comes up with another big win, 9-6 at 106 over Hayden McGuire to make it 28-19, and a huge win for Noah Williams of the Governors, the senior, pinning Jacob Wolf, just his second loss of the season, in 3.5 minutes. That made it 34-19. Nate Williams pinned by Jordan Omi, 2:31 the time in that. The Governor lead cut to 9. They were unable to clinch it outright as Trayson Omi beats Blake Judson 5-1, making it 34-26. And then Alex Menser just got Kaylor Hyman in a bad spot, and Menser with a quick pin to make it the fall in 39 seconds. 34-34 the final, but again, the first criterion, as it turns out, is that penalty point for an unsportsmanlike called against Brandon Valley's Dominic Tucker, and the Governors defeat Brandon Valley. So the Lynx and Harrisburg will wrestle for third place tomorrow. Governors will take on Rapid City Stevens here in the Stevens hometown, and probably will be on a Stevens mat. Governors have a victory over Stevens this season, but again, Rapid City Stevens, we mentioned earlier, looks full strength. Guys, what do you think about how this turned out and the effort of all of the Governors here as a team to knock off Brandon Valley here?
I'm excited for tomorrow. I tell you what, the way the kids came back and battled, I thought first round probably didn't go quite as expected as we thought it was going to, but again, looking at the bigger picture right now, we've got some kids that are jacked up and kids that are ready to go, and I think that's just going to keep going into tomorrow.
And that feeds into the bracket tournament tomorrow right away. Quarterfinals and the first round wrestlebacks. The Williams boys in particular, I think, in Lincoln Schoenhardt, Lucas Chamberlain, as well as Jaden Weeby, who had first round losses today, but I think early on, right away, if we don't see the Governors getting 3 quick wins in the wrestlebacks, then maybe this is all for naught as far as what can transpire there.
We definitely have the momentum in our favor at this point. So, again, one match at a time. The guys need to get some good rest tonight and get ready for tomorrow.
All right, and that'll start at 11 o'clock. Course reports will begin here on KGFX. Plays of the game, or the players of the game, and I got 2 of them, and big wins by pin by Jacob Larson, and then by Noah Williams. Larson pinning Luke Wickersham at 195, but Noah Williams with the one that we really didn't expect on Jacob Wolf. Obviously, we didn't know a lot about Jacob Wolf, but Williams came up huge, and that gave the Governors an opportunity to hold off. I mean, they had to have the Lincoln Schoenhardt match, which they got. They had to have one more match, which, again, we didn't know where that was going to come from, but Noah Williams came up big, and again, that was put the Govs on top by 15. Blake Judson with a decision loss, and there were 2 wins by pin, but again, that criteria loss for Brandon Valley gives the Governors the win. So congratulations to Noah Williams and Jacob Larson leading the way in this Brandon Valley match. We awarded Bauman Lumber Player of the Game shirts to also Deegan Huska and Jaden Weeby in the Mitchell duel, which the Governors won 38-19. Let's hear from Bauman Lumber, and we're back to wrap up our coverage of high school wrestling tonight. Player of the game from Bauman Lumber in Fort Pierre.
When you need building supplies, there's no need to go anywhere except Bauman Lumber in Fort Pierre. Bauman Lumber is locally owned and offers quality products, expert advice, free estimates, and free local delivery for large or small projects. Whether it's a home improvement project, remodel job, or all new construction, they even welcome special orders. Quality building material and affordable prices for residential or commercial products can be found at Bauman Lumber, 1223 Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre, or call 223-9762.
Bauman Lumber players of the game once again as the Governors knock off Brandon Valley thanks to criteria here tonight. Here's how the bracket went so far. Brandon Valley in the first round, the top seed, defeated T Area 61-14. It was Mitchell falling to Pierre 38-19. Then Rapid City Stevens a 51-20 win over Chamberlain, and it was Harrisburg over Watertown 39-28. Semifinals with the Governors beating Brandon Valley 34-34, but with the help of criteria, then Rapid City Stevens a 45-18 victory over the over Harrisburg. That puts Brandon Valley and Harrisburg in the third place match, and again the Governors and Rapid City Stevens tomorrow, which should be at about 6 or 6:30 Central Time, and we'll have it for you live coverage here on KGFX. That comes after, I believe it's the semifinal round, which starts at 4:30 Central tomorrow. Here are the results in Class B that also took place in the Barnett Arena tonight. Winner shuts out Lyman 83-0. Redfield area over McCook Central Montrose 39-28. Canton over Howard in the first round 46-27, and Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes over Woonsocket Wessington Springs Woolsey Wessington. That's a lot of W's, but a 39-34 win for Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes. And then Kimball White Lake falling to Canton 45-21. Winner over Redfield 60-12. So winner and Canton in the championship in Class B tomorrow. Third place for between Redfield and Kimball White Lake Platte Geddes. Final thoughts here. He kind of gave us some thoughts, but as to what's coming up tomorrow. But again, just a kind of a disappointing start to the day for the Governors, but a great way to finish, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple things. We failed to mention the girls' tournament tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that gets underway tomorrow too.
Absolutely. So I think Pierre bringing a pretty good selection of girls up here tomorrow. It's going to be fun to see them get out and compete and see what they've been doing in the room this year. I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest things to look forward to tomorrow.
And really kind of a historical moment, a first state girls wrestling tournament that we'll get to see. And yeah, we're looking forward to good things. That's all individual. There are no team points with girls wrestling, but should be fun to see that happen as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Like I said, I feel like we've got the momentum going in. This venue at the Ice Arena is really cool for watching wrestling, and the High School Activities Association is doing a fantastic job of keeping things going smooth, and so going to be a lot of fun tomorrow.
From our vantage point, it's a better venue than the Barnett Arena. It's kind of hard to see the mats right down below us. All right, that'll do it for tonight. Thanks to Paisley Dunn and to Primetime Paul for running our show in studio. A great night for the Governors as it has turned out. Make sure to thank your sponsors of Governor Sports, including in-game sponsors on 1060 KGFX as coverage of Governor Sports, brought to you by the Becky Potts of State Farm Insurance Agency, by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, who reminds us to slow down, stay alert, and don't veer for deer on your way to and from high school sports. The South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Lynn's Dakota Mart, CHS Midwest Cooperatives, Bauman Lumber, and Wegner Auto in Pierre, the one place to go with BS on the way. Sioux Nation provides live video streaming as well at drgnews.com. This will be a fun one maybe to listen back on. It's audio only here at the state tournament, but thanks to Sioux Nation for providing that. Your final Wegner Auto scoreboards of the Governor matches tonight. A quarterfinal win over the Mitchell Colonels, 38-19, and on criteria, despite a 34-34 tie, the Governors defeat Brandon Valley to punch their ticket into the state dual championship tomorrow. Our thanks to John Wayne Calda and Coach Ryan Noyes for helping us out here. We'll hear from them again tomorrow and again Saturday night with state championship individual matches right here on 1060 KGFX. That being said, have a great Thursday evening, and we'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Our first report just after 11 o'clock state wrestling tournament coverage, 1060 KGFX and drgnews.com.